this game.
You see, Brad Scott speaking of Dursma on the bench, so whether he might be a laid out or he's...
Well, that's fascinating, Jordy, because of the game over in Perth, he was also going with some concern into the game.
Yeah.
Right hamstring, and they subbed him out. And I think right now there may be some issues about whether he's got some tightness again.
He wanted to go back on, Joey, and then they've called him back off through the bench, and it looks like he might be going out now. So I think it's one you've got to deal with the injury, but you also got to deal with the athlete. But can he put up with an injury and still go out there and perform? And that decision has been made. That he looks fit and ready to play.
Yeah, unless it's something different. When it's a match-up, we've seen the warm-up, we've seen a player that he wants to get onto. I suspect it's more about his body than his position.
So we're getting ready here, Super Saturday, Marvel Stadium. It's the first of a double-header here at Marvel today. St Kilda and Hawthorn will be here later on tonight. We're all set, Essendon. Can they get back on the winners list? Gold Coast looking to push back into the top 8. After the Giants kicked them out last night with their big win, Merritt winning that first centre clearance. Here is the first look of Dursma. There's a little fumble, trying to pick up the ground ball to Martin.
End zone.
He'll kick it to a dangerous spot. Mac Andrews got Peter Wright, got the first fist in. Moyle and Goldstein, the two big boys, the young and the old. Overrunning it was the first gamer, Oscar Adams. Angus Clark, and here is the 100 gamer in Rao. His first kick smothered. Kako wants to use that speed. Got it back to right. Ball from Caldwell goes nowhere. And now Merritt with a little bit of composure. Caldwell, good pressure there from Miller, and he forced the turnover. And the Suns will look to run in numbers. Flanders, here is that forward handball game. Back to Miller. Positioning himself well was Laverne in front of King. Doesn't take possession. Merritt, his third touch early. And now the Bombers will look to set up, although the kick from Ridley, shaky to start, opens the door for the Suns. Was Anderson held out the footy? Umpire didn't blow the whistle. And now the Bombers can try and steady through Durham in his return game. Kick to Caddy. Mac Andrew did well. Durham. Martin. Still can't find an uncontested mark. Play on. Martin with an absolute floater. Scratching start for both teams. Kako. Can he be clean? Again, a little breezy underfoot, as we heard from Brad Scott, and eventually we'll get a stoppage.
You get a chance to take a break.
Well, no, that's what happens when there's no uncontested marks. It's just frenetic at the moment.
Don't stand behind. Okay. Pointing around then, I think.
Yeah, keep an eye on that today, Geordie. That's going to be a big talking point. Matty Real, the umpires.
Yeah, you need to avoid that space where the umpire backs out. We're right where he is right now.
Moyle coming into the side for Witts. He'll sit out today. Great tackle from Rioli.
Isn't it funny that both of those stoppages Matt Rouse set up behind the umpire?
Well, that's the hit zone, Geordie. You got to park that, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's where the ball's going and the preferred position you need to be in.
Yeah. The other interesting thing is a couple of efforts by Dursma after what has happened before the game had started. Just looks a bit shaky on those ground balls.
Rioli just decided to go for a run and make it up on the fly. But it didn't work out because a free kick will go against Jed Walter. It's a Blackiston in game number 3. Mid-season recruit, good kick to Caldwell. Last 4 to 6 weeks he's had. It's a beautiful pass to Caddy. You see Perkins working deep. Andrew's got Peter Wright, and Perkins will offer a lead. That's a great kick from Caddy too. Wouldn't want it any better. Perkins split the mark.
Yeah, it's one of the things that Caddy's been working really hard on is his field kicking. I think over the last month it's been evident it's been brought down to his game. But I think going forward, what you really need to concentrate on if you're the Essendon Football Club is hitting those lead-ups more than long to the top of the goal square.
Bomber Small's going to work here at the feet of the ruckman, Rioli. If Dursma leaves that, it might be a chance to get insufficient intent. He will.
It's been a good start from the Bombers. 4th inside 50.
They're building some pressure. Can they get some return? They kick it to the big boys. Yulin will have to play above his height today without Collins and, of course, no Ballard. Laverne up against Long. The ball goes out of bounds. Yeah, Sam Collins laid out yesterday with a bit of a tight calf, so it means Mac Andrew is going to have to play on Peter Wright and Yulin with the match up on Caddy. There is Xavier Dursma.
So I think they really need to isolate the Caddy matchup and Peter Wright play more of a selfless role, taking Mac Andrew out of the dangerous zone to let Caddy go to work.
Now Anderson had the hand free, so that's a good tackle.
He started well, and Witz is a big out, Joel.
Yeah.
He's an important cog to that midfield, and Goldstein coming in, I reckon they might have thought him coming in for that matchup.
There is Angus Clark. Sounds like one of Brad Scott's favourites. Kicks to a big pack. There's Oscar Adams. Couldn't take it cleanly. Pressure again from Gold Coast is good early, because they are under pressure defensively. Fiorini gets it to McAndrew. He decides to take some territory, kick towards the wing. Ben Long full early. Maybe a free kick.
The problem with this dominance is they're getting pretty high, the Gold Coast forwards, and they can't get the ball in their front half.
So again, it'll be Essendon will look to build, this time through that uncontested game. Ridley, Goldstein couldn't hold on to it. Well done from Moyle. Forced the turnover. And Suns have numbers through the corridor here. Anderson finds Walter, just the required 15.
Yeah, 1v1, forward of the ball. King asking for it long.
That's where it goes, in that direction. Laverde was quick to get across. Ball goes over the back, and Humphrey couldn't keep it in, but the Gold Coast get it down their end.
I think both sides just need to take the heat out of the game. Essendon sitting at 267, pressure, Gold Coast at 230.
Well, record pace.
So that can't be sustained.
It can't be, no.
This is where you need to stay on if you're Essendon. Look for blocks and deals, players flying through.
We'll get to the back. Merrick clean. A good handball to Clark, but he's got absolutely nothing up ahead. So he just kicks the grass, and Newland has all the time in the world. And now a chance for the Gold Coast Suns to get their forward half game going. Rioli has time. Didn't really kick it to the advantage of Walter at all. And it's nice to have Ridley back in defence for the Bombers.
Walter thought King was going to come across and be that third man in. They're holding up well at the moment, Essendon defensively.
First game since he injured that hammy in round 8 for Jordan Ridley.
Play on!
Interesting with Gold Coast, they've gone from being the best turnover side to the best stoppage side in terms of scoring, and the last month they've gone from 14th to number 1 to score some stoppages. So without Witz in that midfield, it does look a little bit different though.
Bombers chose to bring Todd Goldstein back into the side and drop young Vizentini after his impressive debut performance against Fremantle.
Surprised by that.
Yeah, we didn't have enough time to ask Brad Scott pre-game, but it was a little bit surprising to me. You know, whether there's something there, a little injury that he caught from the game, or he hasn't pulled up as well as he wanted to in terms of fatigue, but you'd like to see a young kid get more of a run at it.
So there is Moyle and Goldstein, there's Rao, doing what he does best. Flanders, who's been excellent the last 2 weeks. It's a bit of a slowish season compared to last year. Rioli's kick's poor.
Well, there's nothing to kick to. They've dropped off Essendon in the stoppage situation. There's an extra behind the player, so when he looks up and sees that speed, he tries to make something up and kicks it down the full.
You can see Robert's eyes. He wanted to start that uncontested chain. Gold Coast had cut it off well, so he's forced to kick to the contest, and there is the matchup that Jordy's going to keep an eye on. Caddy and Newland. Caddy wins the free kick, wants to wheel and go. He's got right in a one-on-one. Well done again from Andrew.
Yeah, I think the difference between that contest and last week, Jake Melksham got back position. So you would think if you're Andrew, you want to keep Peter Wright in front and use those long arms to spoil. As soon as Peter Wright gets behind, he's in control of that particular matchup and contest.
Right, still in the ruck now. Of course, Andrew was the hero the last time these teams played, kicked the 4 goals and the match winner.
Played as a forward that day,
Yeah.
Joey.
Coming through was Closey, as they like to do, just surge the ball forward. Well read by Blackiston, who tried to charge through and met by Humphrey and another ball up.
I think the hardest thing at the moment, if you're both midfield groups, is just the sheer number of players around the contest. So it will be quick kicks out of stoppages to try and get territory and a little bit of space.
Going to go the way of Durham. Comes back from that suspension for the bump on Sherrod. Just a couple of weeks. Such an important player for this Essendon team. And there's a free kick off the ball. Going to go the way of the Bombers.
Noble was the player that held Ben Hobbs. Gee, it's a costly mistake too. 25 metres out, straight in front.
Nervous as the coach. Don't give that free kick away. You've got a shot 25 metres out. Just settle down, boys. Kick the goal first, then you can puff the chest out.
Just the 4 goals this season for Ben Hobbs, playing predominantly as a half forward. He's got the first of the day for the Bombers.
It's always the one that reacts. You can see there a bit of byplay off the ball from behind the goals camera. And it just got underneath Johnny Noble's skin. It's forced him to grab Ben Hobbs and throw him to the ground. We can just see here, there's a little bit of physicality before the ball. Punch to the ribs, which Noble didn't like, but that's the one the umpire sees. And the free kick has been paid. So a little bit of undiscipline from Johnny Noble in that instance.
Yeah, you're right, Doug, there. You'll learn from that. Started well around the ball with the clearance work. They're up by a couple. Massive strength to Gold Coast. If you can take that away and be competitive, then they'll give themselves half a shot.
8 inside 50s to 3 in favour of Essendon. Of course, when the Bombers have led at quarter time, they're 4-0 this season. Gold Coast, when they've led at 8-1. So this first term will be important to setting up the game, you feel.
Move behind. It's also important when you've got momentum like Essendon do to really hit the scoreboard.
Setterfield trying to put some work into route. Powell flicked it out. Flanders, Miller. Another sensational season. Here's Noble, who needs to make amends for giving away the first goal of the game. Drives it in deep. At the back was Reid. Well read by Humphrey. That's a classy front square finish from a classy young man.
Well, he's class, isn't he? He's been like that since he came into the competition. Looks like he's matured with his body as much as his mind. His score from stopping situation coming out of the middle and fantastic crumb. Just need a contest there. There's some defenders playing in front, which is always risky when you get a bit of space at the front of a stoppage. And clean first take, great finish.
Just how many times do you see that long ball to a contest? Forward goes to the front, defender goes to the back, and that's the gap. McGrath goes to the back as a bit of a goalkeeper. Humphrey plays the percentages, goes to the front of the contest. 13 goals for the season.
Spoke about with Dennis Pagan this week about front and square being one of the team rules, and classic example there.
A brilliant finish from Humphrey. Really grown this season along with his team. They get it back to level, Peggy. While coming off the wing, Merritt trying to go off the ground. Durham still going as hard as ever. Wins the critical ball inside 50. A free kick. Clark didn't get down low enough. Durham again. Look at him go. Tough as nails.
He's a beauty.
That's why they love him. He's been sniffed to be pinned on the ball.
He's been penalised for having a go.
They look like a better side with Merritt on ball as well, Joey.
That's like 5.
Suns
You kick
to control the tempo now. Closey kick nice to Anderson.
Stand! Stay outside. Bing. Alright.
Short to Yule.
Yeah, this is the challenge, to keep the Gold Coast skinny, so not allow them to switch the ball, make it really predictable for the defence.
Yule does pull that kick to back Andrew, and he does have some numbers on his broadcast side if he wants to use them. He eventually pulls the kick. It sits on King's head, so not really going to give him a chance. This time it's the big man, Reid. First Bailey, and then Reid. And there is some talent in the forward half for the Suns.
And that's why it becomes so important to cover off those Gold Coast players that sit in the corridor, to try and force them skinny. As soon as this ball comes to the open side, you just see the space that's allowed Gold Coast to move into.
Well, they're playing 3 talls, so I suspect after the first 2 goals now, there's a bounce off the Verdi's head, that get the ball in as deep as you can and get to ground level. So Essendon doing everything they can to keep the ball in the air, but when the ball hits the deck, it's the second time now it's been a crummy goal.
Good recovery from the big man.
Persisting with the 3 talls as well. It seems to be the system Dimmer's going to go with, and paying dividends early.
And Reid had the 3 shots at goal last week. He kicked 1 goal, 2, took 6 marks, had the 7 disposals. So along with Walter and Ben King down there, we'll get a good look at it this afternoon. We've kicked 2 on the trot now. Moyle easily got over the top of Peter Wright. Miller got it out to Ainsworth. Here is Reid again, got the hands out. Couldn't stick it. Well done, Blackiston. And there's Pryor, who's got the matchup on Jed Walter, giving away some size and just kicks that straight out on the foot.
I'm sure you can do there, but probably not that.
No. Probably too far to run it over the boundary line as well.
Thank you.
So this is a talent in itself. You can see looking inside to try and find options. The forwards must keep moving to provide options late. And as a kicker, you try and spot them.
It's Ben Ainsworth. The eyes are darting. He's going to do the team thing. Kick it to the top of the square. Walter flew. It was at ground level. Butterick now playing as a small forward in recent weeks. Doesn't have a lot of room to move. And eventually the umpire will blow the whistle.
Really holding the ball.
Thanks, guys. Straight up, please.
Once again, still high alert. You see Anderson down there as a mid. He'll be looking to block for a small forward.
There's Butterick again. Trying to get the hands free. Well done, Perkins. Handball's a bit sharp for Durham. Brioli. Got some energy about him today. He's been a little bit quiet the last month or so after that red hot start.
Yeah, he has been getting high, really high up the ground in this game in particular. So maybe just trying to find the footy and get himself back into some form.
Game sort of turned now into the Gold Coast front half game.
Rucks have to run a long way. Right in front. Essendon have the numbers. There is Durham.
It's always an issue if you get stuck in your back half. Your forwards get higher and higher and higher, and look behind the play. There's two spare Gold Coast players waiting for a surge kick that might come out of the stoppage. So it'll reset as a forward line Essendon at some stage.
Durham already with the 5 disposals, 4 of those contested. Martin's got the 6. Rioli and Miller getting a bit of ball early for the Suns.
That's right, that's where you need your leaders, especially in the forward line, to keep dragging players out to try and equalise forward of the ball.
Fiorini tried to knock it forward. Miller did get it inside 50, and again we'll get another repeat stoppage. So Suns building the pressure here.
This is where you really need to have one spare Essendon player, usually in line with goal. The rest need to be manned up and trying to counter whatever piece of hem you can see there that Yule and the spare behind the ball is good safety.
And they were dominant in that first quarter against Melbourne. Durham been sharp early and instrumental, and now Zach Johnson, the youngster, gets the 1-2, kicks to a one-on-one. He asked a bit of flow and made it work.
Yeah, this is just where you need to be composed now. Allow your numbers to catch up and provide options forward of the ball.
See Collingwood do this better than anyone. They just take their time from here, 1 or 2 short possessions, and happy to go to a contest after that once you set up.
Hobbs has done that. And his forwards to reset. Although Caddy's still outnumbered and then outmarked by Mac Andrew. The added responsibility this afternoon. Here's Oscar Adams in his first game for the Gold Coast Suns, former Saints. Pick up mid-season draft. And now Butterick. Wants to be aggressive. That was too aggressive. Turnover. Mac Andrew's the only one sitting back inside the forward 50 for Essendon. And now they try and generate some energy on the ball. Centre field. McGrath. They might run themselves into trouble here, the Bombers. Great pressure from Gold Coast.
Get to that corridor position, you feel compelled to go quick, Joey, but they just didn't have the numbers in front of the ball. Just a little bit of maturity there with the young Essendon players.
Gold opportunity gone begging for Essendon. Had a look. Get a couple of stoppages.
I think that's defensively where you need to see opportunity with Essendon. You understand Gold Coast will try and bring the ball back in. They will be aggressive from the wings to come back into the corridor. See that as a real opportunity.
Hobbs on hands and knees. Merritt tries to sweep the handball to the advantage of centre field, but again, Gold Coast.
Yeah, the pressure's been good. Yeah.
And they win the ball back, and now they can look to set up from the back half. Flanders has a runner in closey. If it sits, he's got some grass in front of him. He waits for the lead. Good kick. Ainsworth. And now Walter. Essendon have 2 behind the ball here. One of them's the Ruckman Goldstein. Blackiston working back, so The Suns now have to be patient. Walter want to drive it in deep, but that was well done by McGrath on the mark.
It was a nothing kick in the end.
Well, that was Roberts, in fact.
Seems to be the MO from Gold Coast at the moment is to switch from the back half. We've seen the third time now, which does give you time to defend if you're Essendon. You can get back and support your defence, and we saw that then with a terrific score.
We looked at as well, just hitting his head really hard on the turf. It was Jed Walter.
There's Johnson to that man Roberts, who laid the strong tackle. Tries to clear the congestion. Well done from Adams. Clever little tap to Jeffrey. He'll send it back where it came from. Blackiston, King's in the contest. Essendon got to get this one through.
It's just the tackle on Jed Walter. Yeah, just smashed his head on the ground post that tackle or bump. So no doubt the doctors will be having a look at that.
It's been a talking point, particularly after last night as well, and some incidents in recent weeks of concussion test. It was Dersma that stood up in the tackle. The kick from Kako was well read by Yuland. And the handball too sharp.
Interesting with those head knocks. If it's a head knock, I probably should just stop it and get him off. But if it's anything else, that's just part of the game, which I think they might have overcooked it a little bit in recent times when the umpire's been so nervous about these injuries that you see on ground.
Goldstein now up against Reed. Now sitting off the back of the contest, wins that clearance. The kick will go towards Butterick. Well done again from Archie Roberts. And he was taken high. It's a good contest from the youngster.
Yeah, put his head over the ball, nice and clean. So this, I think, where Essendon, when the time presents itself, Goldstein sitting up in the middle of the ground, just didn't see that one early. Either switch or try and take a risk for the middle of the ground.
Totally old kick from Roberts, not what he was trying to do. Gold Coast flicking around by hand.
Sharp, isn't
They
it?
do it really nicely. Weller just pulls the kick. Flanders has to go. Roberts, you know he will. And they then coughs up the handball. Butterick out of the path of Walter. Might not get there in time. He couldn't quite, the big fella.
I haven't really seen the Gold Coast forward handball game go just yet. It's been a bit more switch and go rather than take you on. And I think Essendon preparing for a pressure game. They invite pressure Gold Coast, and so does Essendon. They're the #1 handball team in the competition.
Jed Walter, they kicked the 2 goals. This time they met here in that round 22 game. The back Andrew game winner, kicked 2 last week as well against the Demons. Humphrey kicked that wonderful goal. The Suns first, that's clever handball. Weller wanted to draw Dersma and just left it behind. In his 6th season, his 100th game today, Matty Rao. 3rd in the BNF in 2023. He was 4th last year in the best and fairest. I think he'll be fighting it out with Noah Anderson this season. Durham again. Hit that clearance with a bit of speed. Roberts shrugged the tackle. Now they generate some run through the midfield. It's in the right hands of Merritt, although not a lot up ahead, so they want to continue to use the numbers. Clark. Will work for May, but well done by Yuland's got the fist in. Rioli couldn't take it cleanly the first time, but he did there. And the Suns at the moment able to handle the Bombers' play.
Yeah, I think a little bit what Simone was saying, that forward pressure, the ability to come forward and stop the Gold Coast in their tracks when they try and get that front half game going, that forward handball game going.
Setterfield didn't really clear the area. That might be holding the ball against May. Here through the fence, Mike. The umpire said that he dived on it. Not sure, May. Now the Suns will get a little bit of control. Too many marks in this game, just 23 combined by the 2 sides. Rioli, Weller, that's a good little step on Roberts, and the kick's a beauty for long. Now they've got an opportunity with a bit of an open forward line here, the Suns. They want to use the numbers. Flanders. Humphrey chose not to block, instead he wants to get involved in the handball chain. And Butterick couldn't make the most of it, kicks it on the full.
So they get away with it there, but I just think once the Gold Coast Suns go into this uncontested mark, you need to make really good decisions defensively. So Dersma, you don't need to go up and create that overlap. That allows the Gold Coast Suns to then just leapfrog and get the ball inside forward 50.
McAndrew
jumped over it.
Spectacular leap.
I thought it was a reasonable attempt.
Slightly unrealistic.
Oh, you don't mind that, having to go every now and then.
Do you, as a coach, you're okay with it?
Oh, well,
Put the coach's hat
I
on.
want to take that away from players. Just got the timing wrong. I mean, this is interesting, this part of the game, as he gets close to injury.
Just took that step out of bounds, sometimes red hot. So Caddy hooked this ball. It favours the Essendon forwards. It's a good kick. Right, got two hands to it. Just couldn't bring it down.
Just shows the synergy in the front half with some new players, all three players flying for the ball. You just probably need one, mainly the key forward, and the others get to ground level.
Bombers try and generate something from a forward 50 stoppage. Clark. Moyle flicked it out. Andrews. And a goodness opening turn. Jeffrey. Essendon set up well behind the ball. Merritt putting the set mark.
Yeah, change of angles needed if you can.
He started well up to his 7th possession.
If there's one play on kicking the ball inside 50, it's this bloke right here, and it was the right option. Just slightly over the head of Ops.
Okay with that, he almost jumped over him. Maybe not as realistic. Leapfrog.
That's incredible athleticism. Durham. The man on a mission, it looks like, in this first quarter, and then he's
Decision.
red hot.
That annoys me. It really does. If you've got a player that is wanting to win the ball, showing aggression in that, you can get this back. That's karma.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when you go like that, you go hard and try and break the play.
Yeah,
Seen his prior opportunity.
we need to encourage our players to be like that and not penalise them.
Here's the while. We know he kicked those 2 goals against Fremantle before the bye. Does the team thing. Puts it up. Right. Surrounded by Suns. Might have been hurt in that contest. A couple of players have to go hard. Well done, Setterfield. Flicks it back to Goldstein. Back to Pryor. He could have gone back again. Instead, he just threw it on the boot. Only as far as Humphrey, who now kicks to a contest. Critical ball on the wing. And Bolter not necessarily gave away the free kick.
The doctor running out to Durham right now just to assess the damage.
The Bombers who like to go back to Laverta. There's Sam Durham, who looks like he shrugged the trainers away. And now Merritt. Setting up the play from the back half. Got it to Setterfield. And he has a player on to Dersma. It's a good kick. It's a good build-up. Now the critical ball. Again, they just go to the top of the square. But that's okay. Because Caddy, with those go-go gadget arms, has taken the mark 20 out straight in front.
Had a few options on there, but obviously the instruction is to hit the top of the square if you can't see anything. So great for Caddy's confidence. I think early on, he's a confidence play. He hits his first one, he could kick 4 or 5 today.
And he got full stretch up to it and finishes the play. They get some reward for effort, the Bombers. That's their 14th entry. That's their 2nd score. But it's their young star in Nate Caddy.
Well, it was well timed, wasn't it? He had to go around the contest to get there, but we'll just see the Durham incident first, the one where the doctors came out, so maybe just a little clip to the jaw or concussion, so that would be what the doctors are assessing at the moment. Look at that, you've got Moyle, McAndrew, Hewland in that contest, and Caddy just reads the play, goes around the pack, and he's in full flight, catching the ball at the top. He's a serious athlete.
Low scoring opening turn. High pressure, high contest style of game. Suits the Suns, but at the moment Essendon are up for the fight. Merritt been leading the charge with Durham. Perkins surrounded. by 3 Gold Coast players.
Great to see Merritt back in the midfield. He's up to his 10th possession. Traditionally don't tag Gold Coast. They might have to put some time into it in the second quarter.
High tackle count, 29 tackles to the Suns, 25 for Essendon. Clark, there's another tackle. Kako tried to squeeze it out to Martin, and again, Gold Coast at half-back have been able to handle Essendon, although it's still live here. That's better again. Kako, Merritt, look at this pressure. Fanatical from the Gold Coast Suns, who really quite often, and another red-hot ball. This time goes the Bombers' way.
Oh, that's just great. I think great pressure from both sides. Now it's Essendon that end up with the free kick in. Isaac Kako. The challenge will be, does he have the distance in him? He seems to think that he does. Well, that was a hot ball.
He's got the confidence, Isaac Kako. He's only kicked 2 goals his last 6 weeks. He's going to wheel out. He's going to use that man on the mark and then shank it to the pocket. Stays in play, right. Back to Goldstein. He's too far out to score, so he'll be looking for an option. The crowd urge him to go. He kicks it towards Clark, who got the hands out, and the mark's been paid.
Yeah, well done, Todd Goldstein. I mean, that is a risky kick to effectively a winger that is pushed down and provided an option.
Did he mean it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know Toddy pretty well.
No, I think I was watching Goldstein and I saw Clark put his hands up, so that was a kick that I think he meant.
We'll give it to him.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid's been pretty special. You wouldn't have seen him play if they didn't have the injuries, so part of the benefit of having a long injury list is you get to see young players like this come through.
He'll kick those 3 goals on debut against Richmond off the wing, so he knows how to find the big sticks. And it's the youngsters for the Bombers hitting the scoreboard early, and they're in front.
But what they're doing, anytime Gold Coast attack straight line towards the goal, they're really putting some frontal pressure on them. Both teams are over 200 on pressure, so they're forcing the Gold Coast to go around, and it helps your defence a little bit. So it allows you to get behind the ball and defend, take away the big strengths of Gold Coast, a straight line game, and finally get some reward for effort. Kicking the last 2 goals, and let's look at Toddy here. Yeah, I'll give it to him.
Reluctantly.
Well, I've seen him miss the side of a barn before back in my day when I played with him, but obviously he's been working on his kicking the last couple of years.
We're giving him that.
Give him that, absolutely. He's been a star, and 36-year-old doing those type of things. Pretty special.
And the Suns playing the highest pressure games in the competition in this first quarter. Essendon have gone toe-to-toe. They've matched them, but they'll need to hang in here for one more defensive effort. 5 seconds on the clock. Reed! The big fella got 2 hands to it, and the mark's being paid. And he'll have the kick after the siren. It's just flattened the crowd. It's flattened Adam Simpson up here as well. A bit of a coach killer. So late.
I mean, the coach is probably not even in the box. They're on the way down. And you look at the scoreboard and say, what happened? And centre clearance like that, it's the second probably goal from stoppage, we'll say, in the first quarter.
He's already got one, Ethan Reed. Give the Suns the lead at the first change. He steers it home, and the Bombers give up a goal in the final 15 seconds of what has been a high-pressure, high-contest first quarter of footy here at Super Saturday at Marvel Stadium. That man, Zach Merritt, trying to get his side off the canvas in quarter time. It's the Suns, 3-1-19, leading the Bombers 3 straight.
All right, folks, there we go. Quarter time here at Marvel Stadium. Of course, Saturday football. First of 4 games happening today. And it's the Gold Coast Suns with a goal after the siren. 3-1-19 leading the Bombers. 3 straight goals, 18. At least they're cooking straight out there today, folks. I tell you what, Ella Rosa. Shouty. Welcome in, Ella Rosa Tina. Daniel, g'day. Happy 4th of July. And, of course, Eddie G, what's going on? Squire. Tell you what, it took a while before anyone put a score on the board. 10 minutes it took in the first quarter for an actual score to be on the board. Not a bad game, though. Good bit of pressure by both teams. Nice contested game. Tell you what, well, I think this is actually the Gold Coast Suns game to lose today. They just do look like the better side. But that being said, Essendon have given it their all so far. Eddie G, and of course, everyone's wanting the Bombers to win this. Freo can stay above them on the ladder. Let's just go and have a little bit of a look at the team lineup since we didn't get to it early, the ins and outs. Let's have a quick look at the ins and outs for the Bombers. Jordan Ridley coming in. Todd Goldstein, the big ruckman, coming in. And, of course, a big in for the Bombers. Sam Durham going out. Matt Guelphy. Vicentini and Darcy Parish going out for the Bombers. Jade Gresham is the sub for the Bombers. Of course, for the Gold Coast Sun. Oscar Adams and Ned Moyle coming in. Jared Witts, the big ruckman going out, and Sam Collins going out. Oscar Adams is the new player. Alex Sexton is the sub, and of course the milestone, two of them for the Gold Coast Suns. Oscar Adams, his debut game, and of course Matt Rowell celebrating his 100th game today. There were your team lineups. Did you see what no, I haven't seen what a Gridley is yet. I'll have to get around to it. No live ladder for Freo 9th. All right, we won't head to the live ladder, but we will head to the ladder. Addy, let me turn the live ladder off just in case. All right, there we go. Looking at where these two teams sit on the ladder today. Gold Coast, there we go. Sitting 9th on the ladder after playing 14. Don't forget, they've got a game in hand. 9 and 5, 36. They're just one game out of the top 8. And, of course, if they win this, they will jump up into, well, the Gold Coast will jump up into about 6th position if they win today. There we go. They've got a lot to play for, plus that game in hand. Essendon down there in 13th position, 28. They'll be out of the finals. They won't make it, no matter what happens, too far behind. But it's all about the Gold Coast today, what they can do. So that's where the team sit prior to this game. I won't put the live ladder just yet. I'll put that later for Eddie G if the Bombers leading at quarter time or something like that. That'll do. Let's have a quick look at the goal scorers. There we go. As I said, it took 10 minutes in the opening term before anyone put a score on. And then we got 3 goals within a couple of minutes. So play sort of started to open up there a little bit. Ethan Reid, best on the ground so far with 2 goals for the Suns. Bailey Humphries got 1 for the Suns. And, of course, for the Bombers, we've got 3. Single goal scorers, Ben Hobbs, Angus Clark, Nate Caddy. There we go. Just some look at the disposal getter. Zach Merritt getting plenty of the ball out there for the Bombers in the opening term with 12 disposals, 7 kicks, 5 marks, 2 handballs, 3 clearances. Nick Martin next best on 8. Braden Fiorini tops the table there for the Gold Coast Suns on 8. Daniel Rioli on 7. John Noble on 6. There we go, as we just roll on down a little bit, because we're going to get back down to the ground for the second quarter, which is just about underway. McAndrew, tell you what, I think that was McAndrew, or was it one of the others? Absolutely took a pretty much pole vaulted over one of the Essendon players' heads. It was fantastic to see him get him up so high. There we go. Todd Goldstein back in the team today, 4 touches, 2 and 2. He's had 9 hit-outs, and of course, Peter Wright, 10 hit-outs, just the 3 disposals, no score on the board yet. There we go. Who else have we got down there? That's it. Ben Long hasn't troubled the scoreboard yet, just the 1 disposal. All right. I just want to look at the tackle count. They were talking about big tackles inside 50, 15 to 11, Bombers' way. Free kicks. Tell you what, the Bombers are getting the percentage of that, 12 to 5 on the free kick count. I just want to quickly go down to the tackles, because they were saying the tackle count was extremely high for both teams. 27 for the Bombers, already 50% weighted the season average. So they're tackling really well. And, of course, the Gold Coast Suns, 34. These are mega numbers for tackles. Tackles inside 50. Bombers forwards doing it well. Already above season average on 9 after the first quarter. Gold Coast Suns need to be a little bit more effective in that area. All right, let me put it back there. Let's head back down to the ground. For the second quarter, it's the Suns by 1 point.
Caddy went out to the footy. Now Adams, the debutant. Ball goes out of bounds.
We're doing this all day. Essendon, they'll just drop an extra behind the plate stoppages. This time it's Goldstein, just to supply a little bit of protection behind the play.
The Bombers keep their pressure high. Their second best quarter for pressure this season. Durham tried to will himself into the contest. Then he just goes again and dives on boots. Brilliant. But Weller mops it up. Hemmed in. Butterick dropped the chest mark. Keeps it in the forward half of Essendon and they'll take a stoppage.
Well, that's the result of what Simo was talking about. You know, Goldstein going behind the ball. He gets manned up, but then someone else gets free and they're able to position themselves really aggressively.
Sam Durham, 10 disposals, 9 contested, 6 clearances. Miller got it back to Fiorini, a bit of composure. To Adams.
Good kick.
He doesn't find Flanders. Jeffrey running past, made him stretch. Rioli. Back to Jeffrey. Good kick to Long. And Jeffrey continues to run on. He's got Rioli running shotgun. He doesn't need him. He fires himself. And that is a great transition goal from the Suns. The run and carry through the middle of Marvel.
Well, we just spoke about Essendon creating a spare behind the play, and the way to get around that is to kick it around. And what they did, they shaped from that stoppage. Really good contest method. And Took Miller. And then ability to go. Yeah, well, they had to do it. There was a spare behind, and behind the goals there's an extra Essendon defender who keeps folding back. Therefore, Gold Coast can chase the game a little bit, as you see Ridley there on the side. So need to keep pressing the game like they did in the first quarter, Louis.
It is the challenge when it gets out to the open side. You know, Hobbs got left in the dust. They just couldn't run with Jeffries, and even Rioli was an option forward of the ball. So the challenge is to try and keep this Gold Coast side skinny to where your extra numbers are, and not allow them to use the space in the open side.
And they hadn't got their transition game going really at all, the Suns. 12 attempts in that first quarter. Only once did they go from T50 to inside 50. Now Goldstein, Mac Andrew, again with that leap. Got the fist on it. Durham charging through again. Opens the door for Kako, who decides to give it to his skipper. The kick was partially smothered. Well done, Gold Coast.
Did you have a right foot, Louis?
No, but it just wasn't the right option. I think Zach Merritt in that instance let Kako go onto his right foot. Don't ask for the ball when you're running towards your left if you're not prepared to use your right. And no,
You kick.
and he's starting to get these 45s.
Newlands kick just over the outstretched hands of Miller. Opportunity for Essendon. Durham. Merritt uses his right foot this time. And look how classy that is. He has one.
He's a good learner.
And he found Clark.
It's a sense due critiquing his right foot, but
Here us two left-footers that didn't have a right.
I didn't have a left either. It's a problem now for Gold Coast. If this continues to go, he'll have 40-plus possessions, and quite often he's been the one to keep teams in the Essendon in the game.
Angus Clark. Already got one. Looks comfortable in front of the goals. I said that a fraction too early.
But I think you're right. We saw Adams' kick go inboard, and that was the one that they were able to pierce through defence. But now Essendon are just getting opportunity when they're on defensively.
Martin had a little fumble. Here's an opening now for the Suns. They're full of running. Humphrey has options inboard. Weller to Miller. And there's a terrific tackle from Zach Merritt. And Merritt and Durham are absolutely leading the way for the Bombers.
He's drifted away a little bit from that pressure, Essendon. They're collapsing back for the second time this quarter. They keep pressing the game and risk getting done out the back.
Got the spare on this open side if they can keep going and not get held up.
And they go back to go forward, and it'll work. It got to the wall. So now they have generated that overlap. Ridley just pops it up for Peter Wright to run and jump. Ewell got the fist in. Durham again with a ground ball. Rao matches him. Kako just did enough for Ridley. Durham again. Ignored Goldstein. Kicks to the pocket himself. And it absolutely perfect for Caddy.
Well, they just keep turning up, Joey. So there's some parts of that play weren't pretty, but the options were there. and they'll clean to get those ground balls, get it out into the open spaces to the runners, and a really good decision going inside forward 50 by Durham.
And Caddy chooses to go, the left foot snap. Still need a bit of work. But he's been lively, the youngster.
Yeah, he has.
Good match up.
Good ball movement too from the back half from Essendon. Just a little bit of overlap run.
It's changed a little bit. The Essendon pressure's 149. Louis, it's just dropped right off.
Goldstein got the fist in. Rao wanted to break through two Bombers. Gives him the benefit of the doubt.
So if you're looking at that, what are you thinking as coach?
Just what I spoke about earlier. The extra behind the play, sometimes you fold back and you just got to keep pressing up on the game. That's how you beat a side like Gold Coast. They'd like to come at you.
Caldwell shovels it forward. Closey's there. And now a one-on-one. Butterick. Goldstein able to support well. Merritt is trying to create. Instead turns it over. Look at the Suns again, running with hands in the air. Closey decides to kick forward. Pakistan did well. Just trapped the footy.
Is that allowed?
Dersma. Well read by Joel Jeffrey. He's having an excellent season. Not his best kick. Puts Noble under pressure. And here's an easy chance for the Bombers. Kako to right. Jeffrey puts his hands on his head. Big 2-metre Peter.
They need him to fire today. He's a hit and miss type of player, and at his best, he's really dangerous, Louis.
He's certainly got this in him though, doesn't he? Usually a reliable set shot.
He's played 66 games for the Suns in those 5 years. He's 19 goals, 11. He kicked 19 goals in 10 games in 23, 19 goals last season. And he's got the 19 this year and it just sneaks through. So they've missed some opportunities in this quarter, Essendon.
Yeah, but the big positive, they are preying on that 45 kick. They are tempting the Gold Coast Suns to take that 45 kick inboard, and if it doesn't hit, they are bringing the pressure, creating turnovers.
Play on!
Noble. Nobody coming at him, so he assesses his options and
Outside 5.
goes to Oscar Adams.
Play on. Play on.
An old premiership player last season. It's another chance at AFL level. Kick to Mac Andrews, a good one.
Torby.
He's trying to kick a talk off one step, long in front. Goldstein again doing well defensively with Goldie.
Remarkable, really, for Goldstein to be doing this as a ruck coach. Coming in with no pre-season, really.
32nd all-time on the games list. 338 today for Big Todd Goldstein after celebrating the North Melbourne 100 years the other night with you, Simo.
Yeah, can slip in a couple after the game.
His mate got it to Perkins. The handball didn't favour Dersma. Pressure here from the Suns. Turnover. Reed tried to sit and wait for it. Went between the legs, which opened the door for Closey to kick it to the top of the square. King worked under it, and the umpire said illegally by Jaden Laverde.
It did look like he was impacted in the air, didn't it?
It's probably one of those ones, if he gets a hand to it, Laverde, they don't pay it.
Crowd not happy, Joey. Replays just come up on the scoreboard of the screen inside the stadium. Well, I don't understand why.
Ben King, his first touch of the day. 38 goals for the season. Should be pretty straightforward for him. And that's a bit of a let-off, but they get it. And they extend their lead. They get to 9.
Yeah, right, he hasn't been seen so far in the early part of this game, Ben King. He's just still got to present forward of the ball. Really good work by Closey. He was surrounded by 2 or 3 Essendon players, just used his pace, put the ball to a really predictable spot. We see here the free kick that's played, that's paid.
Probably needs to disguise it a little bit more.
His hands up.
It's the one weakness at the moment with Essendon's defence is Laverde's got to play on these types, which is a real challenge. You've got to use your body. There's no choice going against these 205 centimetre forwards, and you're only 190 yourself.
If he puts his hands up there, he probably gets away with it.
He'll just pretend he's going for the mark rather than the block. But unfortunately, that's the situation Essendon are in at the moment with their backs.
So for all their hard work, Essendon, they give up the goal. It's a game-high 9-point lead for the Suns. Durham extracts it beautifully. Caldwell, that's a dart.
He's up to 6 clearances, Durham.
It's PB in a game. He's 8. He's already got 7. That was his 7th. The kick towards the forward line. Joel Jeffrey did well. Also get it moving. That's a better exit kick from Jeffrey. Finds Butterick, who is closely running on the outside, ignores him, wants to come inboard. He sees a one-on-one he likes. It's Reid and Blackiston. And Blackiston, again, uses the body. Legally. Now, boys called advantage. He saw Rioli with a bit of the ball in front of him. They've got the 2v1. Roberts has to defend for his life and wait for some support. He did a pretty good job. And the Bombers went out. And may come back in because they're outnumbered here. Oh, this time it's Adams who gives away the free. And now Kako, he sees it's the advantage and he can run and go. He takes 2 bounces. Has his mate Caddy working for him. Got to him. And then McAndrew gives away the free kick now for another shot.
I think there's athletes in that play.
Plenty going on everywhere. Caddy now just wants to wheel and go for home. And that brings the crowd to their feet. The exuberance of youth. He's got his second.
It brings a smile to your face. Those types of plays. Nagel was Kako. When he saw that he had space in front of him, he just put the foot down and away he go. I think it was Closey. He couldn't go with him. He'd had enough. And then you got these 2 athletes here in McAndrew and Caddy. Contest for the ball, free kick. He realised the goal square was open, so Caddy took it upon himself to launch the ball.
Those two are going to be playing against each other for the next 10 years. There's your future of the AFL, those two.
That's terrific footy, isn't it?
Really exciting.
There they are, got a great matchup.
Rail rock behind the umpire here. He's been in a precarious position
He's
of
been
being...
doing all day, coach.
Has to be careful. Oh, he dodges around the umpire there. Centre field, wrapped up.
What goes after $5,000?
Well, suspension.
That's the concern.
Yeah,
suspension. Although Damien Harwick did say in his press if they do suspend him, watch out. I'm not sure what that means, but right. And hard power was clean. Ainsworth looking for someone. In the end, everyone just peeled off him. So he has time to turn. Steady fire. That hit Reid. Good bit of play from Ainsworth, but Essendon just didn't get anybody in his face. And Reid will line up for number 3.
Strong hands. Speaking of athletes, Joey.
Yes.
Here's another one.
Plenty of young athletes out here this afternoon. Ethan Reid never kicked 3 goals in a game. He now has it halfway through the second quarter. And maybe he's just making a little statement.
Well, it's an issue, these tolls, Louis. That was a mark on the lead and not enough pressure on the kicker inside 50. Sort of all peeled away, and when you've got this much space, and you've got the skills, pretty easy to connect. But the tolls are going to be an issue throughout the night, and how Essendon A can keep it out of going inside 50, and B, keep the tolls away from marking ball.
What about the U-turn? We spoke about Dennis Pagan early on.
U-turns worked in the 90s. Not sure if that's the current way the game's played.
Just 4 inside 50s for Gold Coast this quarter, but 3 goals straight. Essendon have had the 9, but 1 goal 4. That's been the difference. Suns back out by 9. And the leading goal scorer Reid now in the ruck. Merritt been exceptional. The kick into the path of Dersman. Noble read it, came off his man, and does well to apply the pressure without giving away the free kick.
Well, he didn't take the ball. But a really good decision by Noble. You're right, came off his direct opponent to impact that and create a stoppage.
Goldstein and Reid. Caldwell works to the feet. Worked under it from Anderson. Merritt again. Hooks it towards Caddy, who will get another run and jump. Hewlett's got some athleticism himself. Got the big leap in and the fist. Hobbs and hands and knees. Rioli have to work it out here. Flanders did it nicely. Bit of composure. And now Noble's kick goes out on the full. Iron Bombers.
Height and weight class difference there.
Going to be Perkins. Again for Caddy, who just underruns it. Humphrey. Handle to Fiorini. Anderson. That was close, in fact. Didn't have anyone to go, so again, they just like to surge to space. It still might work out. Walter, back to Miller. They just keep forcing this ball forward. They've now got the spare inside 50. If they can spot Walter, he's all on his own. It spills out towards Ainsworth, who has time, space to snap him and execute.
Well, that's Gold Coast DNA, isn't it, Joey? Hit on, knock on, surge, take the game on. See a free kick here to Merritt, who's coming up for his 15th possession.
19th, yeah.
19th possession.
Again, he goes back, so he's done this a number of times. They'll try and find some uncontested ball. Verde goes to the wall. They've got him a couple of times in one-on-ones, and that's a couple of times that he's won the battle.
It's good craft, isn't it? Good one-on-one craft.
And now they want to come back through the middle. Merritt has worked all the way from defensive 50 to the wing. And he can now pick his options. It's Dersma, who's the man that was free.
Yeah, Jeffries left him and just came up, didn't look behind to see if any other Gold Coast player could then fill the position that he was in. So in that instance, if you're Jeffrey, you've just got to hold back. Force Merritt to make a decision. Instead of just create that easy overlap, Dersma gets a shot on goal.
David Dersma coming up for disposal, number 6. A bit of a controversy just before the first bounce. He went off and had a word to Brad Scott. Not sure what it was about. We'll try and find out later, and he fires away. But Sarah, it looks like an injury down there, ground level.
Lockie Weller's gone directly into the rooms with what looks like a right leg injury. Had to be assisted from the ground by the trainer, and doctor couldn't put any weight on it.
Fingers crossed for Lockie Weller, who's had a horror run with injuries, couple of ACLs. And the third game back from the hammy. As the Bombers chop this one off. Perkins, again, they go towards Caddy. Suns are aware of it. They're getting numbers to those contests. Rao hasn't really been able to break free in this game.
I think the midfield battle's probably leaning towards Essendon's way. Looking at some of the numbers, I mean, Merritt's had 20 possessions, and I haven't seen a lot from the dominant mids of Gold Coast.
Anderson and Rao, just 11 disposals between them. Yeah, he's Matty Rao. So he's got 4 disposals. He has 9 tackles, though.
Yeah, well, Durham's had 14 himself, so there's 34 possessions between Essendon's best two. It's a pretty big discrepancy.
Kako. There's another tackle from Rao. Chimay on hands and knees. So 10 tackles already from that Rao. And if any player in the history of the game that's played a minimum of 50 games, he's the number 1 tackles per game player, over 7 a game. So even if he's not winning the footy, he's having impact. Caldwell, without it. Noble, just handballed in hope more than anything. That forward handball again, and Essendon.
I think the other impressive part for Essendon forward of the ball is their ground ball game. As we just look back to the Weller injury, so he came off. He looked like he was in some pain, so is that a rolled ankle? That was assessed, so we saw Merritt get a lot of space on the open side. That was why.
Could potentially be a knee as well, but we'll just wait for some more reports. But it doesn't look good as the Suns are charging away on this occasion. Miller kicks it to the open side. Contest between Pryor and Ainsworth. Well done, Pryor. Ainsworth did pretty well himself to get the hands free. Got the support, Closey. And now Jeffrey. They'll buy themselves some time and space for Noble. Little kick in the read direction. He got hands to it, the big fella. Almost brought it down. Ainsworth again got the handball free. Essendon got a scrap and fight here. Setterfield doesn't want to cough it up.
Pressure's back up. Joey, both over 200. A high intense game. Not a lot of uncontested possessions, which probably suits Gold Coast more, but they're hanging in there, the Bombers.
Yeah, it's certainly more of a Gold Coast style of game, but Essendon are up for it. They've met the challenge.
We spoke about spirit and contest before the game, Brad, and they've brought that.
There's the pressure factor numbers for the game. Well above AFL average. They've had 10 more inside 50s, Essendon. Just been a bit more inaccurate. Get out of trouble momentarily from the Ridley ball. Rioli will send it back in.
You're out. Isaac, stand. Isaac, stand.
Going for disposal number 11 to Rioli, been good.
This is a player that can pick someone in the forward 50.
Just a little three-quarter wedge. Really going to suit Moyle. Essendon had all the numbers. The mark has been paid.
Standing pretty well, these small defenders. Marks inside 50s haven't been a massive issue for Essendon at the moment.
Ridley got it to Merritt. Receives right. Got the height advantage. Again, Newland did really well. They have the support. Perkins, Lowell. Straight into the arms of Matt Rao. Has laid another tackle. That is 12 in the first half for Matt Rao. Only disposal number 5. And he's working hard. Noble into the pockets. And Ainsworth found himself in a ton of space in the last 10 minutes or so on that outer side of the ground.
If you're Matt Rowley, you're happy coming off at half-time with only 5 disposals but 12 tackles.
I think if the scoreboard's in your favour, you know, there'd be some things to work on there that he can talk about, but he's in the game. He's just not having impact with ball in hand.
Ainsworth's been busy. Can he screw it around far enough? He couldn't get it too far.
Just on the back of your comment about the Essendon's defenders, certainly undersized, only giving up the 2 marks inside forward 50 for a half.
Oh, risky kick from Ridley. They might turn this one over. Goldstein has to work hard. Black has still got the fist in. Closey throws it on the left. Looks it too far.
Yeah, Essendon just need to clearly clear their back half, and they try and find marks and just slowly creep their way further up the field. The pressure, as Simo has mentioned, is high. So try and find a few marks.
To a pack, Hobbs. Little underground handball looking for Perkins. Back to Hobbs. And now Dersma. They're outnumbered here, Essendon, so Durham and Goldstein have to provide a contest. They do, but the numbers win out. Jeffrey. Flanders. Anderson's also been really quiet, and that kick's risky for Miller. Again, well read from Blackiston. Jeffrey didn't quite take the ball cleanly. Kako got it to the wall. And now Caldwell has to run hard. He kept his eyes on it, and he took off, and this might open the door for Wright. Well done again from Newlands. Although Wright has time, he wants to put a little step on. He wasn't quite sure what to do. And then is that going to be touched? Or it's going to be a goal? Oh, he almost can't do anything but laugh. I'm not sure if Dimmer's doing that in the box. But Essendon find a way to kick the goal. Unconventional, but it'll do.
He should have marked it in the first place. There's a clear advantage there. Great effort to keep that alive. What happened here?
He's too honest, Andrew.
Good nutmegs.
Oh, the challenge.
Through the legs? Is it through the legs?
I think so. It's certainly surprising by the ball staying low. But he missed an opportunity early, right, just to go bang on Newland.
Shimmy from Peter Wright didn't really do much. He didn't shake Newland off.
Brad Scott called it humorous.
But they'll take it, and they deserve that, Simo, for the effort they've put up in this
Shows
game.
the attitude too of the players, like to laugh about that on field. I'm pretty sure back in the day, when anyone coaching at home or playing in local footy, you can laugh about it. But when it's AFL and it's game of the line stuff, it's hard to find the humour in it. So I tells you he's in good space, Matt Andrews.
A reward for effort as well for the quarter.
It's been a tight, tense battle, just like the matchup late last year. No big leads to either side. Blackiston, had some nice moments, couldn't hold on to it that time. Roberts got it to Merritt. Disposal 21. They find Clark and they hit the outnumber. And the youngster just wants to slow it down.
Had to go.
He waits for his big boys to get down the line. It's May and Wright. Well done from Adams. Almost brought it down. Lual. He's had some good contest wins in his half. That handball's going to set up centre field, who just had to wait for it. And now Clark, this time he gives it to Roberts, who stands and kicks towards Caddy. Matt Andrew's going to come across. I just feel these last couple of minutes, Jordan, are important for Essendon because they aren't a great time on side.
No, they're not, and that was proven in the first quarter with the late goal from the Gold Coast Suns. So this has been a real issue for them in time on in terms of conceding points. Worst team in the competition.
And that's why I think they slowed it up in the back half before you get to the red time, or whatever you want to call it, and you just take the time a little. I think Gold Coast have gone into this play as well, to be honest, and sometimes both teams become quite stagnant with 2 or 3 minutes to go.
Especially with such a high, physically demanding first half here. It's been red hot. There's another tackle's laid. Durham is kicked wide. Will it come off hands? Well, this might be an opportunity just to go down to the boundary line. Sarah, have you got an update on Lockie Weller?
Yeah, and it's positive news at this stage, Joey. A right ankle injury. The Gold Coast Suns are strapping him up and they're going to give it a go getting back out there.
Yeah, that is great news for Lockie Weller and his family and friends and football buddies. As we said, at a horror run. High talent. Roberts did it nicely. Often you can win a 50-50 ball against Matt Rowell. And Essendon will go forward again. Kick towards that matchup of Wright and Mac Andrew. Peter Wright, just went without it. Rioli provided some dash, although that kick's poor. Might be turned over. Well, could take it cleanly, but he's got the speed to get back after it. Again, went without it. Third time lucky. Won it. Got it. May. Steadies. Sees Caddy in the pocket. And Mac Andrew, did he get a hand on that? No, he didn't. So that again is going to be a free kick.
Good smile on that one.
Great effort from the youngsters at the Bombers. As Clark is even feeling good enough to give Mac Andrew a bit of lip. I know they can get under his skin. This would be a perfect opportunity for Caddy to go back and kick number 3. By the letter of the law, that was a free kick. He went early, didn't touch it. And Nate Caddy's got 3 in the first half. And he puts the Bombers back in front.
Well deserved in the end, and you're right about their red time scoring, and to get a goal in this particular passage of play, I mean, that's a big hit too. Real intent from Mac to probably hurt as much as spoil, and that's okay, that's the game. But to give away a free kick in their red time is probably not ideal for what happened 5 minutes ago when he gave away another goal with the ground ball miss. So important minute to go in this half.
There is Lockie Weller, good to see him up and about. And Mac Andrew, the villain, round 22 last year for Bombers fans.
He likes being the villain, which is great for the game, but
he's given away a couple. Yeah, he's gifted the Bombers a couple of goals in this term. And they've taken advantage. They lead by 2 points. Big final minute to the half. Merritt been outstanding. Miller. Well done from Moyle. Wins the centre clearance. It's a 3v3 deep. The backbend king. And just like the end of the first quarter, the Bombers might concede one right on the siren out of the centre bounce. Put the coach's hat on again, Simo.
Oh, well.
How frustrated would Brad Scott be if this goes through?
Once again, he's probably on the way down the road.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's happening. He's not seeing it.
Low disposals for Ben King, but he still might go into the half with 2 in the belt. He does put it home. And as quickly as Essendon got the lead, they've given it back up right on the stroke of half time.
Well, there are some things you can do, and to see this play out this last centre bounce, there's an opportunity, and this is what's difficult, to keep the ball in and get in at secondary stoppage. That's the number one goal. And as you see this play out here, there's a little chance where they can go, just pretend we're going for it, keep it in, stick that tackle. It's just the little things. And when it's a 6-6-6 rule and you've got talls in your front half in your Gold Coast, there's opportunities. That's just a push in the back, but that seems to be allowed these days. So creative secondary stoppages is the worst case scenario that you should be aiming for, Joey.
Ben King got 2. They led by 1 point at quarter time. Most likely take a 4-point lead into the half. Take a couple of seconds off the clock.
For your Gold Coast, so it's a mature response to a bad 5 minutes.
Both rucks pull each other down. Durham will finish the half. The way that he's played most of it, winning a clearance. It's game on here at Marvel Stadium. An excellent first half of footy. 2 teams just having a red-hot crack. Youngsters are doing the damage at both ends. Ethan Reed's got 3. Nate Caddy's got 3 at the other. Merritt and Durham have been outstanding for Essendon. And it's probably more the half-backs for Gold Coast. Noble, Jeffrey, Rioli, that are providing a bit of run and dash. It's been entertaining first half.
Really entertaining. I mean, the reason why those possession getters are pretty high is because the game's mainly getting played in Essendon's front half. 31 inside 50s to 22. It's just the efficiency when Gold Coast go forward. Merritt's up to 22 possessions.
Now we'll get down to Sarah, who has Stan Rioli with her.
Dan, they're throwing absolutely everything at you. It's a high-pressure, high-intensity game. How's it feel out there?
Yeah, it is pretty high. I mean, obviously away games are pretty tough, and they just got off a bye, I think. So they're pretty fresh, and I think we just need to try and match it. So a bit more composed, I think, with the ball. I think we're rushing too much, so we'll try and fix that.
Leadership can come in all forms. Talk to us about the moment with Mac Andrew out there and being able to have a bit of a smile just to calm the nerves of the young guy after a mistake.
Yeah, everyone makes mistakes. I mean, it's out of his control. The ball just had a lucky bounce, to be honest, and you can't really do anything about it. So you can't control that, and I think we just have to move on in the next shift. And I think we can get better with our moments. But he's fine. I think we had a laugh about it, but we'll have a crack now next half, and
We'll let you get in the rooms. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
All right, it is the Gold Coast Suns by 4 points here at Marvel Stadium. Stay with us, Jordan Lewis, to dissect the first half after the break.
All right, there we go. Half times. Addy G's looking for the live ladder. You want the live ladder there, Addy G? I tell you what, we missed it. It was like we had a minute to go before the siren for the half. We could have put the live ladder on. The Bombers were in front. Hey, Jess, how you doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. Albert, g'day. What's going on? Of course, Edward's there. 3-4 already. Rav. Certainly is. There we go. Tell you what, 7-3, the Suns. The Bombers 6-5, 41. Tell you what, this is going to be a ring-a-ding-ding game all the way through, I think. She's tight. It's a high-pressure game. Lots of tackles going on back and forth. I tell you what, the one thing for the Gold Coast Suns, they do look better when they're transitioning their ball out of their back half. They just look like they do it a lot easier with a little bit more speed. The Bombers sort of struggling at occasions to get out of their back 50 and then sort of going slow. Once they get that run on play, they're not too bad. And I do like the target of Caddy up there, one out, if they can get Caddy one out up there. He's doing really well in the opening half, is Nate Caddy. Of course, don't forget, hey, for all the Bombers supporters, one good thing for you is that this is Damien Hardwick's hoodoo ground. Tell you what, he struggles to win at Marvel Stadium, as he's always been saying. So you just never know. Maybe things, the hoodoo will continue again today and the Bombers will take this out. Tell you what, we've got a pretty good game on our hand. All right, I won't show the live ladder just yet unless any Gold Coast fans are in the house and they want to have a look at the live ladder. We'll give it a bit of a tickle on the ladder and show you. But there we go. I tell you what. Got some high tackle count. Anyway, let's have a look at the goal scorers for the Gold Coast Suns. And of course, kicking one just before the final siren to put them back in front. Ethan Reed's got 3, tops their table. There we go, kicking straight, 3 straight goals off his 3 kicks. Ben King, 2 goals for the Gold Coast Suns. 2 disposals, 2 kicks. So that's 5 kicks, 5 goals. They're kicking very straight, Alarosa. They're kicking very straight. Joel, Jeffrey, Bailey, Humphrey are the other single goal scorers for the Gold Coast Suns. For the Bombers, though, their hope down there today, Nate Caddy, he's looking pretty good out there, as I said. For the Bombers, I tell you what, he does look good when he's one out. He's taken a few grabs, and he's looking reasonably strong out there. So let's hope he can continue for the Bombers. We're cheering on, of course, Archie Perkins to get a goal and the Bombers to win, because we did have a multi-bet in the chat today. I think that was Edward there. Yeah, that's right. Cheering on his multi. Caddy and Perkins both to kick a goal and Dons to win. Well, Caddy's got his goal. Perkins been pretty quiet in the opening half. And the Dons are still a chance. Peter Wright with a single. Ben Hobbs, Angus Clark with singles also. We'll get back to the commentators in just a moment for a little bit of their analysis before, and we'll continue some of this. Zach Merritt, though, the only one in the 20s on the disposal count at half-time, 22, 15 kicks, 7 handballs, 4 marks, 3 tackles, 5 clearances. Fantastic. All right, we'll come back in just a moment to look at some of the player stats. We'll head back down to the commentators. They'll give us a little bit of analysis and let you know what's going on from the opening half.
Both teams around the 200 mark. There's been plenty of goals and plenty of run from both the Gold Coast Suns and the Bombers. It is the Suns leading by 4 points, courtesy of a couple of red time goals in both quarters. Have been able to see them hit the front at the change, Geordie.
Yeah, you're right, and it's been a worry for Essendon all year. They are the worst side in the competition of giving up scores in red time. So probably the last 4 to 5 minutes in games. So Brad Scott would be not too happy about that. But I think you're right. The game itself has been high intensity. I mean, this is a game that the Gold Coast love. Not so much Essendon, but they've been able to buy into this type of game, which has kept them in it. It's been fantastic.
Let's talk about Matt Rowell for a moment. The story of the week was his ability to find the umpires and have a little bit of contact. He is treading in really dangerous waters here. We've got a couple of really close calls.
Sarah, he either didn't see the memo that came out, he hasn't been spoken to by club officials. Like, you even see this one here. Now, I understand where the umpires are coming from, but seriously, you cannot set up like that. You cannot run the risk of then getting another fine and a potential suspension. So I just can't believe, after the week that he's had, to then set up behind the umpire and run the risk.
Do you think that makes the AFL more likely to perhaps suspend him if he does get into trouble, because it doesn't look like he's amended his behaviour at all?
No doubt whatsoever. The umpire has sent out a memo. They've fined Matt Rowell last week $5,000. If he doesn't get the message from those two things, maybe the next thing is a suspension.
It's been really eye-catching the way the Suns have surged the ball forward, moving the ball off their half-back flank. What have you made of it?
Yeah, I think Essendon have done a really good job defending this, but you just see why they've been so hell-bent on defending the corridor and forcing the Gold Coast Suns wide. So this was a rare play in the first half, but Adams initially took that intercept possession and was able to bring the ball back into the corridor, and that allows the likes of Jeffrey, the likes of Rioli, to see space in front of them and become really dangerous plays. I thought Rioli's been really aggressive with his positioning. Jeffrey's been really aggressive with his running pattern. So that there was a great play for Essendon. It's been nice that hasn't been a trend of the first half.
Zach Merritt back in the midfield. Zach Merritt being the best player on the ground.
He is. He's playing a different role, I think, around stoppages. He's not being that aggressive mid to get through the stoppage and be on the move and that momentum going forward. He's more of a wicket keeper, one that is stopping the Gold Coast Suns from coming out the front of the stoppage, but that also means he's in a really good position to gather the ball and take the ball forward from his possessions.
It's game on here at Marvel Stadium. Looking forward to the second half. Can the Gold Coast Suns get the win? They desperately need it for their finals hopes. After the break, Collingwood Premiership star Heath Shaw joins us. You're watching Super Saturday.
All right, we'll be back with those not too far away. 10 minutes away before we head back for the bounce of the ball for the second half in this ring-a-ding-ding game here at Marvel Stadium today. Let's get back and have a look at some of the player stats because I know everyone's chomping at the bit wanting to know how their favourite players getting on. As I said, Zachy Merritt, best out there with 22 and the only one in the 20s. He's having a big match, Zach Merritt for the Bombers, 22 possessions. I'll tell you what, John Noble's going all right. In defence there for the Suns on 18-11 kicks, 7 handballs, gives the Suns a lot of drive out of their backline. 1 clearance, 3 marks and a couple of tackles. Joel Jeffrey doing all right with 16. Durham with 15 there for the Bombers. Daniel Rioli, good to see him having a few. On 12, 7 kicks, couple of clearances there. Isaac Kako, tell you what, there we go. He's going all right, Isaac Kako. Could do a little bit more, but still doing all right. He's trying his best. His little legs are pumping hard and did set up a nice goal there for the Bombers at one stage. Tuke Miller on 11 there, and Ben Ainsworth on 11 disposals so far. Nick Martin, 11 for the Bombers. Like to see him come into the game a little bit more. Who else we got down there? Noah Anderson on 10. Archie Roberts, I think that was the man. Was that? No, Archie Perkins. Archie Perkins was the man we're looking for the multi. There we go for Edward. He needs to kick a goal for the Bombers, but he's had 8 touches. He's only had the 2 kicks, 6 handballs, 3 tackles of clearance. Hasn't scored as yet. So we're cheering on Archie Perkins for Edwards' multi to keep him alive there. Lewin Law, I tell you what, I don't mind the way this young fella goes about it. I think he'll be quite okay in the future. He's got a fair bit of speed about him. Got a good bit of knowledge, I think, and a good bit of nous, and has got a good little bit of composure about him for the Bombers there. Dersma just on the 8 with Angus Clark kicking 1 goal, 1 off his 6 kicks. Of course, Nate Caddy, as I said, he looks pretty good out there. He's out there. He looks on fire today, ready to play. They're going to target him quite a bit down forward there. The Bombers with Nate Caddy 8 possessions, 7 kicks. 3 straight goals, so it's good he's kicking straight. That's what the Bombers need, straight kicking, especially against this Gold Coast Suns team today. McAndrew, well, he's had a mixed bag of lollies out there today for his game. The 7 touches, 6 kicks. Todd Goldstein, let's have a look at the big ruckman. There we go for the Bombers. Just the 6 touches, 3 and 3, 16 hitouts, and 1 clearance. Look at Matt Rowell, though. Talking about Matt Rowell a fair bit for the tackle count. Well, he's just had the 5 disposals, 3 kicks, 2 handballs, 1 clearance, but he's had 14 tackles. I'll tell you what, he's bringing the pressure. This is what you got to do. Look at all these players with no tackles. 14 tackles, Matt Rowell, well done. That's what we do like to see. And then we go right down there. Ben King, well, he's only had 2 touches there for the Gold Coast Suns, 2 kicks. I'll tell you what, it's important, 2 kicks. He's kicked 2 goals. That's what we're talking about. Let's go and have a look at some of the team stats for now while we're waiting. I said, should be reasonably tight in a lot of these numbers here for the team stats. It's the Bombers by 6 disposals overall, 12 plus kicks. It's the Suns handballing a little bit more today of a plus 6 there for there. As I said, the kicks were plus 12 to the Bombers. Inside 50s, Bombers doing pretty well. Look, they're getting plenty of opportunity going inside forward 50. Their season average is only 45, so she's a little bit low there for the Bombers. But today, at half-time, Bombers already at 31 inside 50s for 11 scoring shots. Gold Coast Suns a bit more efficient going inside 50, 22 times for 10 scoring shots. So the defence of the Suns is working well today as it looks. Disposal efficiency, not too bad for both teams. 71-7 and 72-4. And there we go. Looking at the free kicks. Let me just have a look. They got Shaw down there.
Be part of such an iconic campaign and have that special.
They're talking about something else. That's right. Let's just roll through the free kicks. And a few more of the team stats. 17-9. Bombers getting plenty of the free kicks. Plenty of the decisions from the umpire. So 17-9, well, nearly double, +8 to the Bombers. So hometown team will be happy about that. Looking at the hitouts, Bombers doing the job there in the hitouts as well, 30-10, they're 30-20. They're +10 in the hitouts. Clearances, though, as the Suns, 19-21, they're +2. Centre clearances of Bombers mids doing a bit better there, getting first hands on the pill. 7-4, they're +3 there. The stoppage clearances where the Suns +5 in that department. Contested possession, look, she's pretty contested game, this one, as I said. Plenty contested ball, plenty of tackles, high pressure there. Pressure rating was off the charts in, I think, that first quarter, pretty much the second quarter as well. So it's a really interesting, good game. Turnovers 33-35. Not too bad today. There we go. Looking at the marks there now, both teams, well, 37-36. See, as we were saying, folks, all the stats out here pretty tight for the team stats. It's just +1 mark to the Bombers, but marks inside 50. Well, both teams getting their chances there. +6 to the Bombers. Well, I shouldn't say +6. They're +2 marks inside 50. 6 to the Bombers, 4 to the Suns. Caddy doing his roll down forward there. Of course, contested marks. Just the 4 apiece. Looking at the tackle count. Tackles pretty high for today's game. This is a super duper high tackle count. 43, 54. 58 is the season average for the Bombers, so great to see the Bombers tackling hard, putting pressure on, but the Gold Coast Suns, they're pretty much up to their season average already at 61.9, 54 up until half time. This is good pressure. That's what you like to see your team doing. I tell you what, the Bombers, though, inside 50, this is one you really do like to see. As I always say, your forwards putting the pressure on in their forward 50. Try to keep the ball inside their forward 50. Put the defence under pressure. Always chances for turnovers and get your score. So Bombers already well above season average. 12-3. Gold Coast Suns need to lift a little bit more in their forward 50. That is the wrap up of the stats, the players' stats, and all that jazz. Don't forget, folks. Let me just have a little bit of a look. Let me just remind you of the winners so far. Round 17, of course, we had the Western Bulldogs defeating North Melbourne, Thursday night football, 134-85. We had the Mighty Magpies crushing Carlton, 115-59. And, of course, last night we had the GWS Giants, 111 defeating the West Coast Eagles, 52. Games coming up for today, folks. After this game, of course, we've got Geelong taking on Richmond down at GMHBA Stadium. That should be a great game for the Geelong Cats. I think a game at home. I think this could be a real percentage booster. Could be a day out for Geelong and their forwards today. I think they're going to have a big win down at GMHBA Stadium, down at the Cattery. And, of course, this evening we've got 2 games. The Brisbane Lions taking on Port Adelaide up there at the Gabba. Tell you what, this is going to be an exciting game. Brisbane Lions, well, this is a game they need to win because the top 8 is pretty tight outside of Collingwood. 2.5 games clear on top of the ladder. But from 2nd to 9th, it's really, really tight. So this is a game Brisbane will want to win at home against Port Adelaide. And, of course, the other game on this evening, St Kilda taking on Hawthorn. Everyone in the top 8 will be certainly cheering for the Hawks. Not for the Hawks. They'll be cheering for the Saints to win this one. They're playing that one at Marvel Stadium. I think we'll cover the Brisbane-Port Adelaide game this evening. That's the game we'll be covering. Geelong-Richmond we'll be covering after this game, and then we'll be heading straight over to Brisbane-Port Adelaide. Unfortunately, I won't be able to cover St Kilda Hawthorn, but we'll keep the live scores up to date on that game as well. And then tomorrow we've just got 2 games to round out. Round 17, of course, Sydney Swans taking on Fremantle. This should be a fantastic game up there at the SCG. It's a game that Sydney want to win for pride, and it's a game that Fremantle must win. There are no ifs, buts, or whats and whys about it. Freo have to win this game if they're going to be a contender and not a pretender running into the finals not too far away. And, of course, the final game to round out this Round 17 will be Adelaide versus Melbourne at Adelaide Oval tomorrow afternoon. And there's a game that Adelaide should win as well. So the top 8 extending their way above the lower teams. So it should be interesting. So a couple of games that really in the balance, especially this one today, Essendon, Gold Coast Suns. I think a lot of the top 8 will be certainly hoping for Essendon victory here. Don't forget, folks, these two teams still have a game in hand to play. I'm still not 100% sure when they're actually going to play this or what's going on with that game. I still can't work it out, but we'll see what happens prior to the end of the season. If anyone knows when they're going to play this extra game that they couldn't play in opening round due to the cyclone in Queensland, let us know, because we'll all be interested to hear when this extra game is going to be played, Eddie G. And especially it's going to be vital for all the teams in the top 8, that is for sure. All right, that's enough of me for jibber jabbering. That was half time. It's the Gold Coast Suns by 4 points. Let's head back down to the ground for the bounce of the ball for the third quarter.
Impressed you the most about this first half?
Well, I think the pressure from both sides, we've made mentions throughout the call, it's around the 200, so I think that was always going to be the challenge, especially for Essendon, is can they buy into the game that Gold Coast love, and they have for a half. Now, the challenge is always what happens in the second half. Can they maintain that and stick with this Gold Coast side who are making a rush for the top 8?
And 6 lead changes in that first half. Gold Coast led by 10 points. That's been a game high. It's been tight and tense, and Humphrey starting in the centre bounce, kicked the opening goal for Gold Coast in that first quarter.
He pinch hits in the middle when they need him. He's an important part of their front half game.
Rao started at half forward. He's come up around the contest. Essendon doing really well at the contested ball stakes. There is Waller. Good to see him back out there. Jeffrey, excellent first half. Disposal number 17 for him. Back to Weller. Towards Reid. Blackiston went early. Merritt. Roberts wants it back. Essendon might just make a meal of it here. They do. They'll turn it over. Nick Martin. Just enough now. Reid tumbles the ball towards half forward. Over the head of Ridley. King didn't take possession. He tried to tap it into the path of long. Here is Rao. Staying at half forward, as we said. Hooks the kick to the advantage of Butterick. It was a brilliant kick.
It is a great kick, and I think it was really clever from Butterick to not go and make body contact and stay where he thought the ball wanted to go. So Johnson was the one sort of filing back towards the goal, and Matty Rouse follow up on the open side to create that extra around the contest. As you said, he's playing half forward, coming up as a midfielder.
Butterick only 2 AFL goals in his 45 games, predominantly being a defender. Played a bit of wing and now spending a bit of time forward. It's generally a pretty good drop punt. And he makes no mistake. First goal of the second half goes the way of the Suns.
Even the little things, Simo, like if you're Essendon, you just take that ball over the boundary line at the open side and don't give the Gold Coast, who had an extra around that contest, a chance to keep the ball alive.
Yeah, one too many handballs, Luann. Sometimes when you start, you can't stop, and that's when perceived pressure kicks in and you pass on the pressure to someone else and turns over. I did notice surge clearance from Essendon. Tuke Miller just drifts forward on the anticipation of a turnover, and he gets to outnumber in front of the play, which causes a collapse in numbers, and then Rao gets goal side. So good finish. Rao getting into the game by hand and foot is the next step for him.
Equal game high, lead now 10 points. Bombers sustain their energy and effort that they had in the first half. Again, they just try and surge it forward. Durham staying at half forward. Back to Merritt. Kick to Caddy. Brilliant.
An outstanding kick. And equally as good, the lead. I wonder if he knows. I mean,
young talent today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, for both sides, it's been exciting.
He might just back himself in here, Caddy. He's been striking them pretty well.
He might know that he certainly knows he's on 3, close to 4.
He can wheel out if he wants, and he can just let it fly. That's exactly what he does. And what a just across the face late. Thought it was good from here.
Really, the cheer squad behind the goal thought it was through, but just that late left to right.
Back Andrew getting some boos. Playing the villain again today. Merritt continuing to rack him up. McGrath just pumps it more in hope than anything. Joel Jeffrey's in the great spot. Kako front square, tumbles along the ground. And he's having a fine afternoon as well. If Caddy doesn't get you, Kako will.
Sometimes just getting an inside 50 is the best option. There was an opportunity to go around there, McGrath, and he sort of hesitated and eventually just kicked it long. And this is a turnover zone both ways, but quite often your speed comes off those plays, and he looked good then. Yeah. Real sharp, ground level.
Just nudged his opponent under.
He's super excited to get him on the list.
I mean, he's going to be a dangerous player, certainly a dangerous small forward. He will get chances to go into the midfield, but when he faces towards goal, uses his speed and his awareness and his goal sense, he's a much better player than playing deep. That sort of small forward that's deep.
Yep. He'll still work through it all. I mean, that's just craft, isn't it? You don't need 3 or 4 of those a game. Yeah. Had a good one.
Well, he's getting more ball. His career high is 15 disposals. He's already up to 13. As I said, you're already getting a bit more up the ground. Looks dangerous.
7 scoring involvements.
And it was the contest from Durham that was brilliant that brought it to ground. And they respond. Brow goes back into the centre bounce. Here's Anderson. Just 12 disposals for him. Brow starting to get busy in his third quarter. Think a little kick. Reed. Got the hands out, but Blackiston had the right length. Now Weller. Looking for long, but over his head. Well done, Ridley. The ever-reliable Jordan Ridley. Good to have him back today as Roberts just tumbles it. An easy turnover. So they gift the ball back to the Suns.
Show good composure, Adams.
Anderson switches to Rioli.
Stand Zach.
Look to play with a bit of composure now. Essendon have numbers back.
So a big leading lane if someone can lead into it.
Tall's an issue here. Be careful not to all fly to score the ball. Have some players at ground level.
Fiorini. Oh, there's a big collision off the ball. And that was Nate Caddy. You can hear the umpire, yeah, off the ball. Nate Caddy and the umpire have both collided. So in a week where there's been a lot of talk about umpire contact, they are both. In fact, Caddy might have come off worse for wear. There's youngster. It's an opportunity here for the Suns inside 50. Flanders tumbles it to the pocket. He has to be careful not to give away the free kick. Strong tackle, Dersma did well. And then youngsters Roberts and Johnson combined to Martin. Caddy outworked by Hewland.
This is the challenge for Essendon, just to keep them that side and not allow that inside kick, which they got on the last play. This is where the defenders set up down the line. Martin, Ridley, and Goldstein's been matched up by Moyle.
Everyone stationary, just waiting for this kick to the top of the square. Reed had the run and jump. Essendon have the numbers. It's going to be tough to do anything with it. Flanders back to Weller, who again kicks it to the top of the square. Moyle might get a run and jump, and in the end it was uncontested.
It was a chest mark.
I don't know if it's a strategy or not, but just to take your time on the entries, it's sort of been the way they've gone about it. It's the third quarter where it's just been a bit more patience. Let everyone set up. Don't mark it in the air, you can get it at ground level. And got 3 forward half turnovers already this quarter.
Just 1 goal in his career, Ned Moyle.
Can you kick this, Louis?
He's an exciting prospect. Witsy's been rested. Then Moyle gets on the scoreboard.
It's always a challenge, the banana kick from the ruckman. The corner of the square, but
could go anywhere. But no, I mean, originally the reason why he was down there was to equalise Todd Goldstein. So he was forward of the ball and got the opportunity to chest mark in the end.
I just watched Nate Caddy there. He was just trying to get down the contest. The umpire didn't see him coming and started to move. So I'm not sure
the umpire moves into his
I'm not sure that's Nate Caddy's fault looking at that first glance. He's just running to get to the goal square as he's allowed to do, and the umpire took 2 steps into his path.
Yeah, I mean, any time you run from outside to the corridor, there is congestion. So
they're both looking at the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what happens at the centre bounce as well. You know,
but at least you know where the umpire's going to move the centre bounce.
yeah, that's true.
Anderson. Handball to Miller. Tap Merritt. That's the ball up. So you don't think anything to answer for Nate Caddy?
I don't want to commit either way, Joey, but
To be honest, it is hard to know, isn't it?
he'd be severely unlucky.
He would be very unlucky. Loyal. Footy to be won. Essendon have been really good in this facet most of the day. They've won the contested ball through the middle of the ground, but not on this occasion. Powell, Miller, and now Anderson from 50 launches. Oh, he's a special player.
Well, you can't keep him down all day, and you'll have a bad quarter, but not a bad game. And these types of players, you know, he's had 6 possessions so far this quarter. It's just a matter of time. And that's if it's a mature look at the game. And this stoppage, they've been so good at protecting the ball, Essendon, from these players, but turnover out the front, you're always vulnerable when you get beaten out the front at clearance.
So one of the important things, I mean, that was a really good sort of one-on-one win by Powell. The ability for a player to drive their legs. So took Miller, grabs the ball, doesn't bang on the boot straight away, drives his legs, commits the Essendon defender, and then allows Anderson to get that overlap run.
There's a reason he's coming second in the Coaches Association Awards. Top 10 in the competition in contested ball disposal, score involvements, clearances. And here he is involved again, lifting his team in this third quarter. It's an important half, you feel, for the Gold Coast Suns for their season. We spoke pre-game about the next 3 weeks, what they've got coming up. They need to win this one, but the Bombers are putting in a good fight.
I think also, just from an Essendon point of view, you can't all get sucked in. So when you want to impact and the Gold Coast have got the ball, you cannot get sucked in as in 2 to the ball carrier. You need to maintain balance.
Good kick. Yeah, good kick. One little passage here for Essendon. 15 points they trail by, and that's great ball movement. Great composure, great use, and Durham finds May on the lead.
Just shows how important that kick back inside is, to change the angle, to really confuse the defenders who have set up down the line, and also create a leading lane for the forwards. In this case, it was Archer May. That kick inside is so important.
Put the kick into the path, didn't he, Durham, for May to run into. Another one of these mid-season recruits out here this afternoon. Game number 3. He was impressive against the Dockers before the bye. He kicked 2 goals that night, and he's got his first at Marvel Stadium.
See Dermy in the crowd, taking the glory. They've just found a way to stay in the game, and just when you thought maybe it might break open, we've seen this, heard this story before with the Bombers. Hang around for a while, but not all day. Really good composure for the young side to actually be measured with an entry. Just seen a different style of play in the last 2 or 3 weeks with an undermanned side. They've been a bit more attacking. Actually gone the opposite to what perhaps you'd think they'd do with the younger side. They've doubled down and really decided to press the game and take it on rather than control the ball and defend with the ball. It's actually been the opposite of late. And you've got to tip your hat to Braden, what he's dealing with all these injuries.
They've hit with their mid-season picks, haven't they?
Getting their opportunity. So many injuries. You know about Zach Reid and Langford, Mackay, Parrish, Redmond, Jones, Bryan, the list goes on. They're showing some great signs of maturity today. 3-1 at Marvel this year, the Bombers. Last time they were here, that was that poor showing against the Western Bulldogs. Durham, good clearance win to McGrath. Kick to the advantage of May again. He's going to get the free kick.
He's starting to get on the move. Simo, you mentioned the Gold Coast forwards. There was no movement. They were just waiting for that high ball to come in. I mean, this is what happens when there's a quick exit through the middle of the ground. It really prompts the forwards to lead and to react. They need to play well, Archer, mate.
Yeah, it's slight advantage at the stoppage work too. They got Rowell starting as a forward and coming up, and McGrath's just peeling off the back of the stoppage for a release.
So May looking for 2 in a minute. Oh, he's got a boot on him. He's absolutely launched that.
Give us a smile, Dern.
Oh, come on, Dern.
My goodness. I know it's Essendon, but you've got a close relationship with this young fella.
Have a look at the stoppage with Rowell up there, McGrath just peeling off at the back. Clearance gets pushed out. It's a good ride. Well done from an Essendon point of view. Shows good system. And a great finish, I mean. A goal like that outside 50s. Really good play. And it's a 55-metre kick.
Boys, I can confirm that the 5-time day, 5-time night Hawthorn star is also an Essendon member now.
Wow. Well, times change.
It's a bit like focus watching out from now on.
There's Dern and May. Yes, 2 in a minute has got Essendon right back in this contest. Well, they don't lose this clearance. Prior. Gee, there were 3 umpires looking at that contest. One of them thought it was a free kick. And that's enough to go the way of Walter.
Yeah, and it was the right decision. But really, really good recovery by Walter because he was out of position. He was really controlling the outside of Pryor, and the kick came back in towards the corridor. So just recovered really well.
Jed Walter, 6 goals in his last 5 games. A couple against the D's, been quiet today. And he hooks that one.
Struggles to get into the game sometimes from a possession point of view. He's only had the 3. He's part of the system though. They're going to stick with it.
Roberts gets it back from centre field. Looks to take some territory. It's a great kick. Might be out here, although close, you can know enough just to buy a bit of time, and they want to keep running. Merritt again goes looking for his young star forward, and Caddy, who hit the body work, couldn't quite keep it in. He might. Would have been something.
Great kicking though. They're 18th in the competition at metres gained from kicking Essendon, so you get all the way to your forward 50s, a massive win.
Brad Scott knows they're in this contest. There's a buzz around Marvel Stadium right now. Essendon fans enjoying what they're seeing. May doing the ruck work. Hobbs. May might go off the ground. And May, he's getting it done in July. He's kicked 3 in 3 minutes and has put the Bombers back in front.
Who's going to get the camera time? May or Dern?
Well, we're calling it Big Boy Month. And this young man is a big boy, Geordie, and he's just found something in the last 5 minutes.
He just stays alive, doesn't he? I mean, that's the ability to play in the ruck, to get Goldstein behind the ball, so your opportunity and the task that you need to do is to compete, to follow up, to become another midfielder. They want a fantastic corner.
Yeah, he's turned the game.
3 touches, 3 goals.
And all of a sudden, Adam Simpson, the pressure back on the Gold Coast Suns. Yeah. This is such a pivotal game for their season. And they are in a fight. It doesn't look like the Bombers are going away. 3 in a row to take the lead. Wright having a stint in the ruck. Humphrey, centre point from Caldwell. Right numbers for Try Caldwell, whose last 5 weeks have been brilliant. Almost 30 disposals a game, just 8 today. It's been Durham and Merritt doing all the damage.
See, we've got the sports car upside down look. I'm not sure if that means anything.
Is the upside down look part of the plan, or is that just a mistake?
It is ridiculous. The signage that we have to use, or they have to use, it sounds like that looks like a Ferrari type of F1. Maybe it's double down and bring some speed.
You keep an eye on the tactics for us, Simo. See what both coaches are trying to do. How can Essendon continue to put the foot down? Merritt, the handball out. Hobbs, quick kick. Nick Martin, clean. Got it to Dersmer. Noble right there. The Gold Coast, they won't relent with their pressure.
Continue to send up a forward Gold Coast and free up McGrath.
Gold Coast trying to shore up the stoppages. Dersmer, certainly not necessary.
Not so close to the boundary line.
And those signs, so that car, say it was to bring more intensity or more speed into the game, it's more of a mindset than a strategic play. It's like take the game on, maybe explore the corridor a little bit more.
Noble to a contest. McGrath having some impact in this third term. Wright looks up, sees even numbers. He goes to the hot hand. It was May, couldn't take the mark. Hobbs, Kako, can he arch the back? He got tripped. He'll get the free kick.
Is that a trip? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. Yeah, well, he was through, so it might have been a little bit more tactical. But he was through. Caddy provided a really good lead. Yeah, just clipped his ankles.
Clipped the back of the heel.
It's time to just send Brad Scott with those arms out in his coaching career.
Yet to be nominated for a Rising Star. This might be the weekend for Isaac Kako. Already got 7 score involvements. Only behind Zach Merritt. Disposal number 14 across the face. That won't be a score involvement unless the Bombers can take a mark. Clark won't be played.
He certainly got, it looked like he got first hands to it.
Plenty of feeling in this. May. Possession, nowhere to go.
Kick them as well.
Yeah, Johnny. Saw a 4.25 from Nick Larkey the other night. Murphy Reid did it early in the season for Fremantle. Spills out. This time it might be taken high, was it? Umpire right there, no, holding the ball. Oh, that was a big 50-50 call from the umpires.
Yeah, there was 2 umpires looking directly at that contest.
Essendon fans have seen the replay on the big screen. They don't like it.
I've seen that paid multiple times.
We're going to look in a moment at the kick from the Suns is a beauty to Butterick. And to rub salt in the wound, 50-metre penalty, take a look down low. That looks high every day of the week.
Yeah, that's miscalled by the umpire. It looked like they second-guessed themselves as well. Called as you see it.
And then the 50-metre penalty. Not sure if it gets Butterick within range. He's looking around. Wait for someone to run past. There's not Newland. It is Caddy, who's just caught napping for a second. Newland, he does have a bomb of a leg. Doesn't quite get the accuracy. It stays in play. King. Martin has to be careful. Roberts just hacks it out of there. The Suns are set up well. And Powell, fain to go inboard. Instead goes to Noble, who's got some time. Butterick has to jump over a couple of big boys, not being able to do that. It's the old boy Goldstein.
It was good positioning, wasn't it, by Goldstein? Read the play really well. I thought they were in danger when Kako got stepped.
Ridley, Kako again getting up the ground, getting plenty of touches. It's now an equal PB, 15 disposals. Again, they'll look to go back, to go forward, and they'll switch to this broadcast side.
Well, this ball will be held up. No real obvious options further down the field. Gold Coast have come across.
Caddy presents late. Oh, great courage from Butterick. And this free kick will still go the way of Caddy.
He thinks he's lucky to get that. Hey, Caddy.
Dangerous kick though, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a short kick. There's an opportunity to go long. And getting out the back with speed, Essendon, and these types of plays have been dangerous.
Just the right arm over the shoulder. They're playing the box there. We'll get a breather.
I mean, the pressure's back up. They're over 200 for the quarter. Contested possessions in a good space.
Full goal to 3/4 in favour of Essendon. Merritt doesn't take possession. Rioli wrapped up. Put on the boundary Anderson leading the way, 7 disposals and a goal this quarter. Muller and Powell with 5. Roberts and Merritt have 6 apiece for Essendon. The last 3 of the Bombers. Anderson again has time. Wanted to give the handball and then eventually takes the territory. Reid, good front and square from Long. Humphrey was looking for Walter. Blackiston's been pretty solid back there. And then wins a big ball and kicks it wide, looking for Dursbaugh.
Even that play from Zach Merritt to not get sucked into Noah Anderson and allow the overlap like that, that is a decision of an experienced player and forces Noah Anderson to kick it, which gives your defenders a better chance to come across and impact in the air. So many times you see players get sucked in.
There's Anderson again. Goldstein, good follow-up work. Brow. It's going to be a fly. Well done. Centre field.
Just a bit late on that call. Dispose of it in the right amount of time, but
high tackle game, 66 tackles for the Suns, 56 for the Bombers. Durham, outstanding on return, goes to Caddy, who just thought he could outreach Ullman. He's done really well.
Yeah, he has. He's certainly playing undersized, but has competed really well.
I wonder if this bye for Essendon is going to pay them back in the last quarter. It's such an intense game.
Well, Gold Coast will be aware that fourth quarters have been an issue for them the last 3 games.
Just look like they're on top of the ground, the young Essendon midfield in particular. I mean, they've swung everything at the Bombers so far, the mids for Gold Coast, and they're standing up well.
Boyle ran under the footy. Ridley under pressure. Reid got down and then was able to get boot the ball because he knew he had his arm held, and then Fiorini will win the free kick.
I think this is where they need a bit of movement forward of the ball. Too many Gold Coast players are just standing there pointing. Get some movement, get some blocks, cause some indecision with the Essendon defenders.
Suns again will look to be patient. Considering this attacking mid-zone. Joel Jeffrey now. Kicking into the pocket. Walter will fly! Well, that's a big contested mark.
It is, and he came from too deep. And it was really what was needed because there was no movement. They stand and point, which has been the way they want to get their advantage forward of the ball. You'd love to see a little bit more movement, but this is just the athletic prowess of this particular player. You see there, 2 or 3 deep, launch, catches the ball at the highest point. Yeah, this is the tough part.
And this is the part. There's been some criticism around some of his goal kicking in recent weeks. Can he finish off the strong contested mark? He does. That's a big moment for the young man. He steps up when the Suns need him.
Reid, Walter, King, you wonder if they're going to be the difference in the last quarter as well. I mean, I saw a lot of this kid under 18s. He's a West Coast supporter, but in the academy for Gold Coast, and he'd kick 5 goals for fun at junior level. He was this size 2 years ago, and I think it's a matter of time for this kid, for him to get more impact on games. He's got the appetite to chase and tackle. Reminds me of a young Jack Darling. He's physical. He wants a contest, and sometimes he doesn't get rewarded with ball in hand, but when he does, he's going to do some damage.
He's 27 games in, 28 games in.
And if you're going to be low possession, you're going to make them count. He did on that occasion. Great game of footy. I wonder when the coaches think about activating their subs. Jade Gresham, the sub for Essendon. Alex Sexton, still sitting there for the Gold Coast.
Getting to that red time as well, Joey, that you guys both have mentioned about how they handle the last 4 minutes, the Bombers.
Goldstein got hands to it, Merritt. Caldwell goes wide with that centre clearance. Noble lost his footing. Hobbs kept it and then tried to just surge the ball forward. We'll get a Andrew throw in.
This is the one here. Can Essendon create an opportunity for themselves? So Peter Wright comes up as a ruck. Todd Goldstein drops behind the ball. Can you have some connection with your mids?
Coming through, Perkins went without it. Powell. Free kick will go to Pryor.
Pryor could go around or just keep it skinny. Put a stoppage in your front half. 3 minutes to go.
He's going to attack the goal square. Peter Wright got in front and was outreached by Moyle. Oh, the ruckman's got to be careful. Oh, that's the risk of the ruckman playing on deep in defence. He knows it straight away. So the young man has made a mistake and Caldwell can make him pay.
And I like what the Gold Coast players have done. Just to get around him, say it's okay. He's clearly disappointed with his decision to play on, forced himself and put himself under pressure. This is a really important kick.
I mentioned Caldwell's last 5 weeks been huge. 29 disposals, over 8 tackles, 7 clearances. Not his biggest game today, but he steps up, and that's a big moment. Goal for goal, and Bombers back in front. And again, Jordan, it just came about from a mistake from the Gold Coast Suns. This is the Bunnings build-up. Just talk us through it and what you'd probably prefer to see from the ruckman in this situation.
Well, the first part of the play is exactly what you want from a ruckman. You get back, you're the spare number behind the ball, and now you just need a little bit of composure. He thought Dan Rioli was his first option. Probably should have went back there and looked and certainly not kicked it through the corridor. He's the one part of the ground where you know there's going to be a saturation of numbers to try and force you wide. So he knew it straight away. As soon as you step off the line, then we can predict Amy Hartwick's reaction.
So back in the middle, 2.5 minutes left. It's going to be a big couple of minutes here in this third term. Now Anderson couldn't hold the ball.
This is good from Essendon, which played at red time.
Yeah.
So they're really going after it.
Durham drives a bullet looking for Caddy. Might have infringed. Hobbs tumbles one of the goal square. Rush behind.
Sure, that looked like a free kick live to no caddy. Gold Coast are off.
How do both teams want to play these final 2 minutes? Long wants to get it moving. Ethan Reid was the spare. Miller got front and square. Over the top, Humphrey. Now goes to King, who's got out the back. That's going to be a free kick again. Yeah, Verde just not subtle enough when he tries to do the body work.
I know it's technical, but the entry that Essendon had, an opportunity just to go deep into the pocket and ice the quarter, try and lower their eyes and hit caddy. Yeah, there's another kick inside 50, but then it goes up the whole way at the other end and just managing the clock with a young side. Sometimes it's about those little decisions you make. Probably should be a free kick though.
Ben King, just 3 disposals, but he's kicked the 2. 40 on the season. Steers it home for 41. Just takes his opportunities, does Ben King. 4th season in a row now, he's kicked 40 plus. Of course, 55 last year's the PB. You feel he'll beat that this season. Delivers late in the third quarter. Another red time goal against the Bombers.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier, last in the comp at red time scores, which is, I think, is the last 5 minutes of each quarter. Definitely activations you can do to manage that, and it's dealing with momentum, and it's sometimes difficult for a younger side to manage the clock, but just little things when you've got the ball in your hand you can do to control the game. But on the other side, Gold Coast, well done. They put the foot down when they need to.
So he's Ben King, equal second in the Coleman medal. Of course, still has the game in hand. And this is a big final minute. This is where Essendon have conceded too late, both from centre bounces in each of the first couple of quarters. That's a big mark from Ridley, right when they needed his leadership and experience. They'll just take a bit of tempo. Blackiston, it sits up high. And well done from Adams on debut.
But even then, again, young player, just take the mark. What do you get, 10 seconds, 8 seconds? 42 seconds, they cannot concede a score now. Either side.
Bombers haven't played in too many shootouts this year. This already is their highest score at three-quarter time for this season. Caldwell, the kick, an advantage caddy. Newland again.
So they're just holding back. No one's manning the mark, so they're happy just to...
That's a good example, isn't it?
Out of bounds.
Great last quarter coming up, though. Entertaining game, high scoring, good pressure, young talent.
I mentioned Gold Coast last 3 games, their fourth quarters, they were outscored by 27 points despite beating Melbourne. And how about the Giants game? They were outscored by 29 points, and the Geelong game prior outscored by 8. So Essendon will feel they're in with a chance, particularly with the crowd behind them.
Got that bye in their back pocket as well. Got off in the bye in poor starts. They've got over that. Now it's about how they finish the game.
Siren sounds, and Super Saturday is delivering here at Marvel Stadium. Gold Coast desperate to get the win and get back into the top 8, but Essendon, the plucky young Bombers, are standing up, and we have a big fourth quarter to come. Don't go anywhere. It's the Suns leading the Bombers by 3 points.
All right, folks, three-quarter time. What a ring-a-ding-ding game we've got coming up. And I tell you what, this is going to be an epic finish. Eddie G, this is going to be an epic finish. The Gold Coast Suns, I tell you what, 12-4-76. They're leading the Bombers 11-7-73. Just those, those 3 extra behinds for the Bombers made a little bit of a difference. I think, I tell you what, within those last minute and a half, Caddy probably got shoved under the ball. Should have been a free kick, having a shot on goal. That didn't happen, but the ball rebounded down to the Gold Coast, scoring a goal, putting them back in front for three-quarter time. The Bombers slightly winning that third term, kicking 5-2. The Gold Coast Suns, 5-1. Tell you what, fantastic, accurate kicking here today. 23 goals, 11 is the total that we've seen being scored today. This is just a fantastic game. And tell you what, anybody's game. It's exciting when the Bombers are running hot, because it looks like the crowd coming into it, and Damien Hardwick's face for the Gold Coast Suns. He's the coach. He's going, oh my gosh, not again, the hoodoo ground. But what's it going to be? Is Essendon going to win, or is the Gold Coast going to win? I tell you what, it's pretty tight in the poll we got going on, the live poll. 55% say Essendon, 45% say the Gold Coast Suns. We're only just decided a little bit, just by a couple of votes. So if you haven't put your vote in, stick who you think's going to vote to win. Just looking at the goal scorers on the ground so far, there's a few out there now. And of course, for the Gold Coast Suns, Ethan Reid and Ben King, both with 3 goals. Jed Walter, Ned Moyle, Joel Jeffrey, Bailey Humphrey, Connor Buderek, and Noah Anderson, they got singles. Hey, JJ, how you going? For the Bombers, Archer May's got 3. Well done. Nate Caddy got 3. Should have had 4 with that free kick, not paid. Peter Wright, just a single. Kako with a single. Hobbs, Angus Clark, Joy Caldwell with 1 goal out there. So a few multiples, all with 3. Anyone going to kick 5? I tell you what, there could be a chance. Is Perkins still on the field? I think so. We'll run down. We'll have a look and see if Perkins, how many possessions he's got. Zach Merritt topping the table with 29. 8 clearances going all right. Noah Anderson, 23. Noble, 22. Durham, 21. Let's just roll on down. Archie Roberts on 15. Kako with 15. 1 goal. Dan Rioli, he's just doing his roll out there with 13. Archie Perkins, where is he? There we go. Archie Perkins, I don't know whether he actually put on a possession. That's a good question. Is he still on the field? We're going to have to keep an eye out for him and see whether we can actually see him. Number 16 there for the Bombers. 8 disposals, 2 kicks, 6 handballs, 3 tackles, a clearance. I don't know whether I actually heard his name being called in that third term. We'll keep an eye out for him because someone else is wanting, I think Edward was hoping he kicked a goal and the Bombers win for the multi. That's what they were looking for. So we're going to have to keep an eye out there. It doesn't actually say who's been subbed out at the moment. They should have that to say who's been subbed out. But maybe the subs haven't been subbed in yet because we've still got the 2 players, Alex Sexton for the Gold Coast Suns and Jay Gresham.
Player older than 21 with multiple goals through his name. Guys,
All right, I was just hearing to see the commentators had him out. So it looks like the 2 subs that still haven't been subbed in yet, both with 0 possession, so quite possibility that he is still on the ground, but we'll have a look out for number 16. If I see him out there, I'll let you know in the comments. Yeah, he's still there if they haven't called his name. All right. There we go. We are just a minute away. 16, I'm still trying to keep an eye out for him to see whether I can see him just in some of the replay bits. Or see his number.
We spoke to Brad Scott pre. So to come to 3/4 time and be in the game, they will be really
disposals. What did I say? He's at 8 disposals.
Yeah, and the record that Dimmer's got at this ground, it's questionable. I mean, there's the last 5 or so games.
All right, we'll keep an eye out. If I see him on the ground, JJ, I'll say, yep, he's still on. All right, let's head back down to the ground for this cracking final quarter here, where it's the Gold Coast Suns by 3 points. Can the Bombers do it? Just before we go, let's stick the live ladder on and see what the Gold Coast are going to end up if they actually end up winning this game. They'll move up into 6 if they win. If not, well, they'll remain out of the 8. All right, let's head back down to the ground for the final quarter, where it's the Gold Coast by 3 points.
So I think they're going to lean on the maturity and the leaders, the young leaders that stood them pretty well for most of the year. And if you're the Bombers, you'd mentioned the fact that coming off a bye and the game is definitely up for grabs.
Yeah, I think if you're a player on both sides, it's all about risk assessment. When do you want to take the risk and when do you want to play safe? So then try and get the win.
7 players with 15 games or less experience for Essendon out here today. They've got their experience in the centre bounce though. Goldstein, Merritt and Durham have been outstanding. Anderson lifted in the third quarter for his team, the skipper. Drives it in deep. Miller starting at half forward. Clever handball. Oh, Walter. Straight up in the air. Angus Clark taken high.
To whip in those left foot snaps.
Some of the stars for both teams have been there. Nick Martin, just 15 disposals and a couple of score involvements. I mentioned Rowell and Miller for the Suns. Here's Flanders. Pulls the kick. He found Miller in a little bit of space. And he'll go back and have a set shot.
Clear out, guys. Clear out here. Right out, please, Sam. Keep coming.
He just drifted forward, didn't he? Took Miller. He was involved in the first play from the centre bounce as well. So he will find space forward of the ball. It's how damaging he can be with his disposals. He's a star of the competition. Good composure going inside forward 50 as well.
His numbers this season basically as good as his 2021-2022 years where he was All-Australian and high up in Brownlow medals, and he just nails that. Steps up when they need him. Delivers in a big way. There's Took Miller.
Yeah, you speak about moments, and that's why these players have paid really well. Time and time again, they step up and they're so reliable in these instances. So you get a forward half turnover, so that is a really important point. You don't allow the opposition to transition the ball. And then this is a money kick going inside forward 50 to not blaze away, kick it to the top of the goal square, try and find an option, and it was Took Miller that found some space. And lovely kick by Flanders.
Been watching Miller tonight. He does anticipate, it's not cheating, but he anticipates the back half's going to win it, or there's going to be a contest won, and he'll just be 10 metres in front of where the traditional players are, and he'll find that space in front of the play. He's done it again there, and to really good effect.
Hitting the scoreboard so often this year, averaging 26 disposals and a goal a game.
When he's not in the game is when they don't win those contests, and it continues to go the other way.
Hold that meter.
Durham and Anderson continue to go at it. So do Rowell and Setterfield. Fiorini off a wing. A free kick. So consistent since he forced his way back into the team about six or so weeks ago. Jeffrey overshot the kick. It still might work out. Humphrey read it. Spills to Ainsworth. Standing start. 2 in a row. Over to you, Bombers.
Yeah, a little bit easy in the end from the free kick that was given between the arcs, and then it was the run off half back. So you can never nap as a forward, because then your direct opponent, in this case it was Jeffries off May, they just take off, and really hard to defend when there's speed on the ball. We speak about Dennis Bacon and no U-turns. It was brilliant by Humphreys. Really simple, predictable first give. It just allows Ainsworth to set up, open himself up to the goals and kick it around his body. You're right, it's back on the Essendon Football Club now. Can they respond? They have for 3 quarters. Can they do it again?
Out to an equal game high lead, 15 points. As Jordan Lewis said, Essendon though today they have responded every time.
Both sides got their big boys in the middle. Stars everywhere on both sides.
Durham just took a little bit too long. The pressure was brilliant. Flanders kicked towards King. Got hands to it. Laverde did well that time. Zach Johnson has to be calm. Did it nicely. Blackiston. Ainsworth taken down. Angus Clark just wants to get some territory. Gold Coast have the extra number though. Jeffrey. Wow, great pressure. Run down from big 2-metre Peter. And they took advantage when maybe they shouldn't have, Essendon. And they might profit back up. They ran into trouble. Mac Andrew. That points May. And the kick's nice. Now it's an open corridor. Flanders heard the call of Rioli. He wants to run and go. He kicks to the advantage of King. Laverde has to try, and he's just undersized, but he dropped the mark. So it's still live. Fiorini on the left pulls the kick into the pocket. Oh, no talk between King and Walter. And they muck up a perfect opportunity to have a shot on goal.
Yeah, I mean, it was really Walter's ball coming back towards the kicker, and King just fell into his space. Got away with one there, Essendon.
Oh, beautiful kick for May.
Doesn't seem overawed, Clark. It's really good decisions coming out of half-back.
They're going to think their way through this now, the Bombers. The game's got a bit chaotic. The half-backs are into the game for Gold Coast. Turnover to turnover. It hasn't sort of been like that all day, so a few spot kicks like this, a stoppage here or there, just get the game back on their terms.
I want to find the uncontested mark, just missed Perkins. He then decided just to go for some territory, and in the end, Essendon will take the ball up inside 50.
Sometimes that's all you need. It's just to get the game in your half, get a stoppage, set up behind it, reset yourself.
A fair few numbers behind the ball, Essendon, which means Gold Coast got a lot around the stoppage.
Rao somehow got that to Powell. Goldstein the ruck, helping out behind the ball, so Essendon have the numbers. Goldie, that's clever. And Merritt, always clever. Now Martin wants to look corridor. The fans aren't happy that he's gone back, but they're thinking their way through it. Roberts, Laverde, and now Lawal.
Peter Wright's deep, waving his hands. He's free.
That's where the kick goes. Caddy's also going to be in the contest. They both fly. Who's at ground level? Durham lays the tackle. Oh, Flanders had to be good, and he was. And now the counter-attack could hurt here. Anderson, look at the run. He took off the forward handball. Humphrey, can he think his way through? He wheels, sees an open goal square, goes for home. Oh, that one hurts. That is coast to coast at its absolute best from the Gold Coast Suns. Humphrey has got 2 now. And in the blink of an eye, it goes from one end to the other.
Well, if you get that high and you sit behind the player for Essendon and you chain your way out, and this come from their forward 50, so plenty of opportunity there for the Bombers to keep it in their front half. While this is happening, Miller just sits slightly in front of the play and just gets that outnumber in front of the play, which is difficult to do, but right there, it's a great position to be in if you're going to shape it out of a contest, and the rest is history. Haven't seen this tonight really, or this afternoon. It's been more of a grind, but these last 3 goals have come from rebound, running halfbacks and overlap play.
The Bombers have activated their sub. Jay Gresham is into the game. Archie Perkins is out. Attack.
That run from half-back has been dangerous, hasn't it? Jeffries, Rioli. I know Anderson was a midfielder. Just so much room in between the arcs at the moment for the Gold Coast Suns to rebound and run.
Just have a delay, Jordan. They're just checking to see that just hit the post. Just an unofficial review. As Archie Perkins saw their sub there with 9 disposals. And it has been overturned. Right. So Bombers. There you go. For them, just flip the post.
Review complete. Looking at these angles, we can see a spike on edge as the ball passes the post. Decision on scoreboard.
Strange looking spike. Isn't it? I don't normally see a curve on the
Grinders post.
That's exactly what it's there for. Yeah. As we understand, every goal gets reviewed.
Well, that's a break for the Bombers. What are they going to do? Are they going to take the game on, continue this chaos game?
So what would you be thinking? So 16 points down, 15 minutes to go.
Well, you'd be discussing in the box where the issues are. And it's this type of play that either works really well or goes right over your head.
Three quarters of the play was good. Just the final play from Hobbs was the right option.
Geez, Gold Coast want to go quick, don't they? They don't want to allow Essendon to get set. They want to go side to side, use the corridor.
And there's also the question, how do the Suns play this fourth quarter? How do they play this 16-point lead? They kick to a 2-on-1. Quigley's been good on return. Caldwell's going to go. The ball sat on the head of Peter Wright.
Even the Caldwell one. So keep running. If there's grass in front of you, keep running. Make the Gold Coast defenders who are ahead of the ball make a decision. Do they keep sucking back or do they come forward, which then allows you to get overlap and get a little bit closer to goal?
Well, they've got an extra behind the play. So Mac Andrews now is sort of parking in the back half. So if you bring speed, you're going to go straight to your spare. So you've got to find a way to use the ball.
Rout with a rare clearance win. Humphrey, Miller, his handball only as far as Goldstein. Although he might cough it up, but he did well, the big fella. Got it back for his team, and now Johnson. The handball for Clark. It is Martin. Although he missed Hobbs. Now they have to pressure and try and win it back. This could spell danger. Noble into the path of Closey. Laverne wanted to come forward, and in the end he got caught in no man's land, which meant King was out the back, and that was the decision. And that has meant Ben King, who so often just gets out the back of the opposition team defence, has taken another mark inside 50, and will line up for goal number 4.
And a slight adjustment in strategy from both sides this quarter, which Gold Coast have elevated their run, and Bombers are trying to match it, but if it turns over, they're very vulnerable the other way.
He kicked 7 goals in the 2 meetings against Essendon last year. 3 straight today, make it 4 straight. An outright second on the Coleman medal race.
Probably says more about Gold Coast at the moment, what they've brought, but Essendon now have to deal with an extra in their front half. So one of the things they could do, Joey, is play 6 forwards, pull back a bit of length, risk losing the game by 7 or 8 goals, rather than just give opposition a spare. And that spare that Gold Coast are getting is springboarding off the half-back line. So some little coaching moves you can do. And there's a maturity piece too, Louis, where it's just got a young Essendon side trying to find their way through a game.
I like that run from Closey as well. I mean, ideally you'd like Dersma to check him and keep him sort of goal side, but he just wanted to get to the open side, get to the perimeter, provide an option so they can keep moving that ball from back half. It's just sheer work rate.
8 goals between King, Walter and Reid. And 2 for Humphrey. Well, 1 in fact got taken off him and 1 to Ned Moyle. They've all had impact. And now Essendon might have to take some risks.
5 zipping the clearances this quarter to the Gold Coast.
Game high 22-point lead. They do win this centre clearance. Centre field. May got hands to it. Martin, great front and square. He saw an open goal screen, puts it in the path. Caddy, that's a good tackle. Newland just did enough to get it away. Lual trying to create something. Right. Gold Coast get numbers back. There's Rao, who just hacks it out of there. And his foul's Buxton. Make the set mark. For him, he's coming up for disposal number 11.
They give up too much ground.
Oh, they're doing it because the Gold Coast are folding back.
Merritt goes looking for his winger. Martin. Suns pressure just good. Too good, in fact. And now King will potentially get a free kick now. I'm biting by the whistle. Merritt. Can he will his team over the line? Kick's going to be close, in fact too far out of bounds on the form, so just breaking down at the moment for the Bombers offensively.
Fundamentals, I mean, Gold Coast have kicked 10 goals, 2 from set shots, for example. 8 goals straight from 40 metres out. Some of the fundamentals and predictability in the game is critical when it gets to this stage.
Kicked the last 4 here, Gold Coast. Walter.
Back 2 metres.
Don't get any smaller. They're the big boys.
Gives it to his runner. And there's a player in space, Ainsworth. He's been in space most of the afternoon. It's both with number 13. Happy just to control the ball here now. And the maturity of the Suns just close the deal. That kick just got to power. No rush.
No.
Into the pocket. Safe kick for Gold Coast. Half Essendon to score from here. Roberts, centre field. Kicks it wide and that will be paid, you would feel. Insufficient intent it is.
Yeah, they needed a lucky bounce to bounce back inside, but I think you're right with the Gold Coast, son. They're prepared just to go really slow, predictable, long down the line. And they've got really good stability behind the ball.
And they'll just keep it into that pocket. Through behind, probably favours the Bombers.
Gold Coast Suns about to inject some fresh legs. Alex Sexton will be coming on, and I'm told Long will be the sub, and it's also tactical.
Yeah, unusually quiet game for Ben Long. He's hit the scoreboard in every game he's played this year, but just 8 disposals, no real impact. Caddy worked really hard to provide an option. And then as he likes to do, he just wants to take the game forward. He wheels and goes. If it comes to ground, it might give Essendon a chance. They're outnumbered. Gresham should have the fresh legs.
Good follow-up.
That was Caddy, who followed up. Caldwell, Lual wanted to shake and bake Joel Jeffrey, who just shows the desperation the Suns have had most of the day.
Very quick to call those balls. I mean, it was a great tackle, but it was really quick.
It's not good sides with Caldwell.
No problem. Not too bad.
Oh, I agree with you, because he gets tackled and then bounces back up, then hand passes the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's consistent. A real challenge now for Essendon. Gold Coast have gone to a different mode. It's more control over chaos, which, from a maturity point of view, they've slipped into it straight away.
Caldwell's foot looks like it got caught in that tackle attempt, so hopefully he's okay. Essendon got to go for it now. They need to generate some turnovers. That's going to help. Well done from Archie Roberts.
Himself as well.
Obviously, it's now limping. So a couple of sore boys.
Their sub.
Yeah. Rao waiting to come back on. Roberts wants to get it moving. May's going to get a run at it. Caddy got in his way. They both went for the same ball.
was gone down into the Bombers' rooms for treatment on that leg.
May doing the ruck work. Gresham. Barge his way through. Thought he did a reasonable job of getting put the ball, but the umpire thought he threw it. And now the time just started to become a factor here.
Taking the sting out of this game with a bit of control. There would have been some sort of sign or message sent out. You can't use the runner the last 3 minutes, so there's plenty of time to use the runner now and try and pick some holes through this defence, which is ranked 18th in the competition for scores against in the last 5 weeks. The Bombers, they've done a really good job to contain for the most part. But it's getting difficult now. 8 minutes to go though, still plenty of time.
Walter standing tall in this fourth quarter. Again, they're in no rush. Set behind the ball, and they'll keep it skinny side in the pocket. And they'll be happy to take that throw in. So 3-2-0 in this fourth quarter. Essendon, the scoring's dried up. Obviously, another one getting his ankle caught in a tackle.
Good maturity, Louis. Gold Coast at the moment. Yep.
Merritt been outstanding. Disposal 36. 9 clearances, 8 score involvements. Weller, the one that had an ankle scare earlier in the game. Brow been quiet. Back to Merritt. Now they can look to go. They don't have a lot forward of the ball. In fact, they've got nothing forward of the ball. That's why Dursman had to go lateral. And now Martin, he's also going to have to be creative. And that was a very creative kick. Hobbs didn't commit. That was the chance, and that's going to be a turnover. And Anderson will kick towards Walter. Sexton, the sub, just past him. Martin again, going to have to try and be creative. He does. He is a talent. And now McGrath has the whale inboard. He sees Gresham in the corridor. That's the wrong option. And this one might be the dagger because the kick goes to Humphrey, who's going to get the free kick. But Essendon in their attempts to take the game on. This is always the risk. That's going to be a turnover and a shot at goal the other way. Humphrey lining up for number 3.
It was rare that Essendon forwards had one-on-ones forward of the ball, so that was a time where McGrath could have gone forward, decided to come inboard. He was under pressure. Didn't have too much time to make those decisions. See, Pryor just tunnelling.
This might be the dagger. Just the 1-goal one for Humphrey. Of course, he had that one taken off him. Just touching the post earlier in this quarter. The number 2, and maybe the one that breaks the Bombers' hearts. 29-point lead. And it's been a mature fourth quarter from this Gold Coast Suns side.
Well, some pretty good coaching moves in this last quarter. Obviously, we thought Essendon might have the advantage with coming off a bye, being in the game, young and enthusiastic, but it started with chaos in that last quarter. Louis, it was just half back, and that really suited the halfbacks of Gold Coast, and they got their 3 or 4 goal lead, created a +1, and then went into control, and now it's getting pretty late in the day to make a case for a comeback, but from an Essendon point of view, maybe you equalise the game as best you can, hold your forwards, create a bit more length. Now the car is the right way up, and that is clearly that's a SUNS
Pit stop, eh?
It's a SUNS car, is it?
Okay, job.
Yeah. It's the Moyle. Flanders got that out to Miller, who sees grass in front of him, arches the back, and then kicks an absolute floater.
I think just follow up on your comment before about the maturity. I mean, these are exactly the games you want in the last, 6 to 8 weeks coming into finals. We expect this Gold Coast Suns to play finals. They've been challenged today.
Yep.
But I think the pleasing thing about this fourth quarter is they haven't looked desperate. So they've really just waited for the opportunity to come and then made Essendon pay.
Setterfield. Fiorini kept his eye on it. And then a clever kick inboard to Noah Anderson, who's had a massive second half.
What's he up to?
Sometimes
Exposure number 29.
Yeah. They had a huge third quarter. Sometimes you can force it, like even that kick in there, you just make really good decisions. The Flanders kick to Tuke Miller early in the quarter. Really good, composed decisions going inside forward 50.
I think the Essendon supporters would feel pretty proud of today, I would have thought, for the most part. They've had a real swing.
So his 19th disposal in the second half. Kick one. Beautiful long-running goal from 50 in the third term. Thought about giving it up last moment, and then in the end just goes for home, and he's bombed his second. And the skipper has delivered in an emphatic way this afternoon. And he's guiding the Gold Coast Suns, hopefully to their first finals campaign in their history.
There were 14 inside 50s for the fourth term, 5 goals, 2. Too sure why he was looking to pass this one off, but he clearly had the distance in him. It was a really good call by you. Go back with a flight of the ball and then just find an inside 50 target. He might have been trying to get it to Rao late for his 100th, but really mature performance in terms of closing out the game.
That's what it means to him. This is a group that are connected, they are united, they're re-signing, they want to play finals. Durham has been magnificent, he set the tone early, and there's his running mate, and those two today have been huge, and he's hit the post.
We just 1 or 2 midfielders short, the Bombers rely on these two mainly for the whole day. Goldstein's done his job.
There's Caldwell, who's normally in there being excellent. 15 disposals, got that ankle straps.
It's a little bit off today, and obviously missing some soldiers.
Gold Coast will get Witts and Collins potentially back, depending on how that calf injury or the calf tightness pulls up. A couple of their experienced players. Essendon looking at a few more back as well as the season goes on. Their effort's been excellent. It's a bit like the theme of the round so far, isn't it, Geordie? These teams we've seen, North Melbourne, compete, Carlton for a little bit, Essendon. At the end of the day, these top sides, you just do it for longer. They've been able to break away late.
You're right. I mean, and sometimes it comes down to decision-making under fatigue, and clearly the third term's a little bit of that. The fourth term is all of that. Both teams, it's been high pressure. We've spoken about that. You still need to make good decisions with ball in hand, when to come in and press, when to roll up, when to take off on your direct opponent.
He won't mention it, Brad, but they're missing 15 players on the list through injury. They're the youngest team in the comp for this round. That's with a 37-year-old Ruckman and Todd Goldstein. A lot going against him at the moment.
You've liked a lot what you've seen though from Essendon today? A lot of signs.
I have. I just think some of the young players, it's going to pay them back down the track, and it's not a wasted year if it doesn't go the way they want. They've exposed some youth and some young talent. They'll get their players back eventually. They've got to get it right off field. There's a lot to like about Essendon in the long term. And on the flip side, the Gold Coast, well, they look like they're ready for finals, don't they?
Isaac Kako, PB possessions and score involvements. Nate Caddy an equal career high 3 goals. Archer May with 3 goals. There's the Verde.
He's only up to the 17 tackles round.
And one off his PB, and the record in all time for a game is 20, so he's not going to get there. He slowed down. The second half, Matty Rao.
How dare he?
Yeah, disappointing. Has also shown some good signs today. Zach Johnson had a bit of ball. Caddy continuing to present and work hard. Miller full of run. Closey. Ainsworth trying to pull that inboard. Missed King. Humphrey. His hands have been sharp today. Got it to Fiorini. And Gold Coast kick another one. And all of a sudden it's a 40-point margin. Big final turn for the Suns.
What's that, 6?
6 goals to 1 behind. 6-2 to 1 behind.
You know, and the pressure's still around the 190 mark for both sides. So, I mean, the sting's well and truly gone out of the game. It just shows you what they needed to do in the first half to stay in the game, Gold Coast, and then seen the real power in the last 10, 15 minutes.
Let's go, guys. Rucks in. Todd, let's go, please.
So the big challenge awaits for the Gold Coast in coming weeks. They've got Collingwood at home.
What a Friday night
That
game
is
that
going to be
will
an
be.
unbelievable Friday night game. We'll find out more about these Suns. Then they've got Adelaide in Adelaide before another Q clash. I reckon that's when Dimmer's going to talk about big boy month to his group. I don't think he was ready for it yet.
No, didn't sound like it before the game.
Did he? He knew that maybe this wasn't the one. I think the next block of 4 is where he puts it on his group, and we'll find out more about them. They've done what they needed to today. In front of almost 30,000 people. Wasn't easy.
I'll pack up the stadium and go again tonight, Joey.
Yes, it caught a Hawthorn.
Double header.
Our mob's playing. You confident the Hawks?
Oh, it's going to be it's going to be a tough game. Going up against Ross Lyon and the Saints.
Here's Humphrey. He's provided a spark in that forward 50. We're looking for Walter. Goes again. They still might have a couple more goals in them. And Sexton happy to take it out.
No, they've only got 5, 6 injuries on their list at the moment, Gold Coast. So health's your biggest asset this time of year. So obviously not in a position to manage their players, but getting their best team together is critical when you're just sitting outside the 8.
Yeah, really, just wits. And as we said, Sam Collins, other than that, Ballard's out for the year, a couple of others, but pretty much got their group. Kako.
They have 15 or 16 in their reserves. Play.
To May. Lit up the Marvel Stadium crowd in that third quarter. Mac Andrew has made some mistakes today.
Going through it again.
Good battle, yeah. Martin didn't take possession of the whale. But he's had some really nice moments. Couldn't quite crowd another one there. Well done from Noble. Tackle number 79 for the Gold Coast Suns today.
I imagine as a coach, you would love to see that desperation late in games.
Yep, absolutely. Not surprising though.
The Bombers will back themselves in next week against Richmond to get back on the winners list. This will be their 5th straight loss, and then they play the Giants here at Marvel. There's Rioli. Pop it over the top to Walter.
Pretty rounded game. Just see Wilder just unselfishly move the ball forward. From a stats point of view, the score sources, they've kicked 7 goals from clearances, they've kicked 10 goals, 5 from turnover. Pretty well balanced, come from all parts of the ground. Kicked 6 goals, 3 from centre forward turnovers, which is really important if you're going to be a serious team. You've got to get the game played in your half, and they've had 24 half turnovers for 7 goals, 4 Gold Coast. So no, a lot of it the last quarter and a half, but still got the right numbers.
Moyle to finish it off. Can't put the exclamation mark on the game. But it is still a resounding win for the Gold Coast Suns. The Bombers threw their best punch. Gold Coast went toe-to-toe, and it took until the 4th quarter, but they eventually knocked them out and won by 41 points. In the top 8, the road win at Marvel. They are here one more time later in the year against Carlton. The skipper, who was brilliant in the second half, Joel Jeffrey, had a career high 32 disposals. Noble, excellent. Miller did his thing. Ben King was able to kick 4 goals. Ethan Reid showed some real promise with 3. But the Gold Coast Suns got the job done for the man playing in his milestone game.
100 games for Matt Rowell. A big week re-signing the contract and now this win. Are you so happy with today and where this club's headed?
Yeah, really happy with this result today. Always playing away, it's always tough, but the Bombers were here to play today, so really happy with how we came out in that last quarter to get the win.
An unusual game from yourself, 15 disposals and 17 tackles. You certainly made your presence felt in the pressure stakes. Do you pride yourself on that?
Yeah, it was always going to be a tough game. They're a good midfield. So I'm really happy with the boys able to work through that. But yeah, really proud of the midfield group.
The maturity of the group to manage the tempo of the game. So there were a lot of red time goals late in each quarter, and then particularly in that last quarter to judge the tempo and switch it up. Was that a focus from Dimmer?
Yeah, we talk a lot about playing our moments, and they definitely come late in quarters when everyone's a bit tired. So I thought we were able to do that really well throughout the game, and especially in that last quarter.
The umpire contact that's been spoken about during the week and the fact that you're up there with a few against your name, did you modify your game style at all? Because it did look like at centre bounce you were still lining up reasonably close to the umpire and you did have a couple of close calls.
Yeah, no, haven't changed anything.
Did Dimmer talk to you about it and modifying it at all, or are you just going to keep doing you?
Yeah, no, just keep doing me, yeah.
Massive game next week, Friday night footy against Collingwood. How much are you looking forward to that challenge against the team that's setting the benchmark?
We'll be really excited for that. Obviously they're the best in the comp at the moment, so we always want to go up against the best, and it'll be a really good game.
We were chatting before the game with Dimmer about Big Boy Month, and we're about to head into a really big patch for you guys. Not only do you have Collingwood, but also Brisbane and Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. Will the month ahead make or break this season for you guys?
Yeah, it's definitely right in the thick of it. This time of year, we want to be playing finals and we've got to win games. So there'll be some big games coming up, but we're taking it one game at a time.
Cliche. Good work today. Aside from the cliche, a massive achievement to get the 100 games. We look forward to seeing plenty more from you throughout the season.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thanks, Maddie.
Matt Rowell there with Sarah Jones. We're talking about the next month coming up. This will be, I think, the block that Damien Hardwick will really focus on, boys, because they are in as good a shape as they've ever been in their history at 10 and 5. A really healthy percentage. It's those four to come, Geordie, starting off with Collingwood at home Friday, that will really determine if they are a genuine finals team or not.
No, that's popcorn sort of stuff. Yeah. On Friday 11th, Collingwood at home. It is a sellout up there in Queensland. So, I mean, this is why Damien Hardwick went there. This is why they've positioned themselves as a football club as we head back down to Sarah.
I've got Ben King with me, fresh off a 4-goal performance. How satisfying is that, the way the boys fought through a pretty stern challenge from the Bombers?
Yeah, it was really satisfying. I think it shows the maturity of the group at the moment. I feel like that was a game in years gone by that we would have dropped, but it was an arm wrestle. We just kept coming, so great feeling.
What about the youngsters in the forward line that are joining you in booting these scores? Reid was really, really promising today, and also Jed Walters hitting the scoreboard.
Yeah, both of those guys have been unreal, and I think they put in so much work during the week, and coming off the back of last year, they've improved so much. So, yeah, they're a joy to play with, and we're building really good chemistry.
The half-back line and the run that guys like Noble and Dan Rioli have been able to generate, not just today, but all year. How great is it as a forward to see them charging towards you?
Yeah, so good. They're fearless, those lads. They take the game on, and they break lines for us, so it makes it exciting to be in the front half, and they're all having a great year across half-back.
You've been at the club a little while now. How exciting is this year in particular? Is there a different feel about it? I mean, you're going to head against Collingwood this week at home, Friday night footy, which will be the match of the round. How big is what you're building towards?
It feels special, to be honest. I think the difference is really feeling the belief in the group and the belief that we can really achieve something and we can match the best teams in the comp. So, that's been the distance, but we just got to put our heads down and take it one game at a time.
You guys are trotting out the one game at a time. Cliche, a little bit too much for my liking today, but do you think that belief comes from Dimmer? Is it from having a coach that's been there and done that, and he's telling you guys that, you can mix it with the best?
Yeah, that's definitely a big part of it, and I think every game, every close game we play in, every win and every loss, we learn so much and we just build on that belief. So, it's holding us in good stead.
All right, well, good luck next week against the Pies. We're looking forward to it.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ben.
Ben King there, 4 goals, outright second in the Coleman medal leaderboard. But, Simo, you were just ears pricked a little bit when you heard Matt Rowell talk about the umpire contact.
I just think sometimes you're an extension of the coach in terms of the messaging, and when it was, I'm just going to do what I do, and that means I'm going to dance with the devil in these particular plays. obviously they're not happy as a club about it, and they've told him to go out and play his natural game, almost to the point where I'm going to put myself in this spot, and what will be will be.
Is it arrogance?
No, I think it's a stance, and often when you hear a leader or a player talk like that, it's coming from. It's coming.
That's
you
what
know what it's like.
That's exactly what it seemed like. Yep.
And it's a bit of a line in the sand, and a bit like St Kilda have been doing of late. Like, we're not going to cop this anymore type of attitude, and I think Dimmer's instilled that in some of his players. Not on every issue, but this particular issue seems to have sparked something in Dimmer's profile.
Is it a fine line though, Geordie, to flirt with this? Like, you can have a strong stance, but you still might get bitten.
They'll have something in play for when it happens. Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Whether it's legal, I don't know. It's not just we're going to complain about it if it happens. I think they're preparing for when it happens, because if he keeps doing that, it's going to happen again.
Yeah. No, I think if I'm the AFL watching that, I'm not too pleased, to be honest, Joey. But that's the risk they want to run.
But what do you do though? That's his role. That's where he wants to be.
Maybe put it away for a week or 2 weeks. You can still get to that position.
You're having to do that during the season. You know what I mean? Like to adjust.
We'll let the boys unpack that at Saturday stretch.
That's it. It was a big win for the Gold Coast Suns. 41 points. We'll be back right after this to take the song.
All right, there we go. That is game, set, match. How you going, Isabella? Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. We thought the Bombers might be able to get the job done today, especially up to three-quarter time. We'll only trailed by 3 points. It ebbed and flowed all that way. But holy Toledo, the Bombers could only put on one behind in that final term with the Gold Coast Suns. 6 goals, 3. Just took Essendon apart in that final term. Look, I think the downfall for Essendon, I think their forward line just didn't work that well today, whereas the Gold Coast Suns, tell you what, when they transitioned back from their defensive 50, they just moved the ball quick, got good run through the midfield on occasions, and just spread open Essendon, certainly in that final term. Something Essendon need to work on. Thanks, Paul, for popping on in. We'll see you later. Hey, Ryan Avery Rogue 1. Cheers for the super chat, bro. Appreciate that. Good stuff. The super sticker. Always appreciate your support there, young man. Samantha, go Suns. She was saying, I tell you what, we had a few from both sides in there, but our poll said 56% Gold Coast Suns and the Bombers 44%. So we nearly got that right, but we did get that right. But I tell you what, it looked like it could have been anyone's game at three-quarter time. Just unfortunate for the Bombers. Yeah, I think, well, there we go. I just think the way their entry inside their forward 50 really didn't give their forwards that really good of an opportunity. You know, they had it inside their forward 50 plenty of times. They had their opportunities. I mean, there were a couple of decisions the umpires, well, they probably should have given to the Bombers and quite possibly would have scored a goal over, but then it got turned over, ran down the Gold Coast end and got a goal. But the margin, 41 points in the end, wouldn't have made much difference in those two. The Gold Coast Suns just way too good in the end, and that probably tells you why. They now sit 6th on the AFL ladder. And we'll show you the live ladder in just a moment. Just before the commentators come back, let's just run through the goal scorers in today's game. And of course, Ben King topped the table with 4 there for the Gold Coast Suns. And we had a lot of goal scorers today. Ethan Reid with 3 for the Gold Coast. 2 goals to Bailey Humphrey, Noah Anderson. And of course, single goals to Jed Walter, Ned Mould, Tuke Miller, Joel Jeffrey, Fiorini, Connor Budarak and Ben Ainsworth for the Bombers. Archer May and Nate Caddy both did well with 3 goals apiece for the Bombers. Peter Wright, Kako, Ben Hobbs, Angus Clark, Jai Corbell, all singles there for the Bombers. Disposal count, who were the ball magnets? Well, Zach Merritt, tell you what, he played a blinder for the Bombers, but unfortunately one player can't lift you over the line. 40 disposals, he hit the magical 40. 8 clear of his next opponent. 24 kicks, 16 handballs, 6 marks, 5 tackles, 12 clearances and behind Zach Merritt. Fantastic game there for the Bombers. Joel Jeffrey, best for the Gold Coast Suns on 32. Noah Anderson on 30 with 2 goals. They were the only 3 above 30 possessions. John Noble had a great game in defence for the Suns on 29, Sandurum 27 for the Bombers. Nick Martin, well, I would have liked to have seen him into the game a little bit more, putting a few more valuable possessions up. It just didn't happen for him today. 22 touches as we just rolled down. Archie Roberts ended up with 20. Dan Rioli, not too bad on occasions there for the Suns. 19 disposals, 12 kicks, 7 handballs, couple of clearances there for him. Kako was 17. We're going to head down to the room in a minute to hear the Gold Coast Suns theme song by the players. Let's just head on there, down there now, and we'll come back for the stats.
Suns of the Gold Coast sky, we are the ones in the red, gold and blue. We are the mighty Gold Coast Suns. We play to win that flag for you. Fight, fight, fight till we hold up the cup. Run, run, run all the way. Hey! We are the Suns of the Gold Coast sky. We're the team who will never say done.
All right, well, I don't know how good that song is, but there we go. That was the Gold Coast Suns. Maybe in the future they'll probably come up with a better theme song than that. But, you know, the happy boys down there, winners and grinners. There we go, and they're certainly grinning down there. Let's head on back. Matt Rowell, they were talking about his game today. 15 disposals, 6 kicks, 9 handballs, 5 clearances, 17 tackles. There we go. I think that equals his PB in tackle count. Only 3 off the record of 20 tackles in a game. So fantastic effort there by Matt Rowell. Angus Clark a little bit, a little bit quiet today. 13 disposals, just the 1 goal, 1 for him. Nate Caddy tried his heart out. He wasn't too bad for today for the Bombers with 12 touches, 10 kicks, 3 goals, 1. McAndrew did his job reasonably well there with just the 12 disposals, defending well down there. Peter Wright, he's another one that was a little bit quiet there for the Dons. 21 hit-outs, 9 disposals, 1 goal, 1. Ned Moyle for the Suns, 9 disposals, 35 hit-outs, 1 goal, 1. So good effort from him. And, of course, Todd Goldstein, his opposing ruckman, 9 disposals, 31 hit-outs. So quite even by the 2 boys there. There we go. All right, let's have a little bit of a look at the team stats as they stand. It was pretty tight. Most of the stats in the team stats for both teams in this game was just plus 25 disposals. Overall, for the Gold Coast Suns, of course, inside 50s, if we have a look, 19 scoring shots to 25. The Bombers, 55 inside 50s for their 19 scoring shots. Need to be a little bit more efficient than that, boys. And, of course, for the Gold Coast Suns, a fair bit better. Inside 50, 53 times, 25 scoring shots. That's a lot better there. Disposal efficiency, not too bad from both teams, going above 72, 76%. As you can see, the efficiency inside 50, Gold Coast a lot better at 54, going above season average. Bombers a bit down there in 34. Free kicks, well, the Bombers had the better of that, 26-22. As I said, there were a couple there that probably should have been given. Unfortunately, there wasn't. Not sure what will happen with Caddy and the umpire who sort of ran into each other out on the ground, whether Caddy will cop a fine or just be a warning, or the umpire will cop a fine, because it did look like the umpire ran into Caddy's space there, so hopefully he'll be fine, as we saw that throughout the game. In the stoppages, the hit-outs, the Bombers won that department, 55-40. They were plus 15. Suns just ahead on the clearances, 38-35. 13-10 with the Bombers' centre clearances. They got the ball first and 3 extra times. They were plus 3 there, but stoppage clearances around the ground were 28-22 to the Gold Coast Suns. They were plus 6. Contested possessions, all pretty tight. As I said, this was a really well-contested game today, 136-140, plus 4 to the Suns. Uncontested, just took control of the game in that final quarter, did the Suns, plus 29 there. Turnovers, both pretty similar there. There we go for that. The marking department, not a great deal of difference, just plus 11 to the Suns. Both teams having reasonable opportunity, definitely. Look, the Bombers had their inside 50s a lot more in the first 3 quarters. The Gold Coast Suns doing well, 12 marks inside their forward 50 and a little bit stronger in contested marks. They were +6 in that area. Tackle count, look, it was a really good tackle count by both teams today. Both teams, the pressure rating was right up for both teams, so that was great to see. And, you know, you can at least take that positive away from the Bombers today. 67 tackles, they were about 20% above season average, so fantastic for them. And pretty much the same for the Suns, 67 and 78. High tackle count for both teams today here at Marvel Stadium. Love to see that. You love to see that. And, of course, the Bombers, they were putting the pressure on their forward 50. So happy with that as well. So there are, as I said, there are some positives coming out of the game today. Even though Isabella, the Bombers got run over in the final term, 16 tackles inside their forward 50. That is 100% up on their season average. And, of course, the Gold Coast Suns, well, they lacked a little bit in that. So they need to improve on that area next week. Just looking at the ladder, let's reload the ladder and see whether that's up there now. And, of course, there it is. There it is. The Gold Coast Suns, they now move from 9th on the ladder. They jump all the way up to 6th position. Of course, leapfrogging Fremantle, Giants and Hawthorn. Sitting 6th on the ladder now on 40 points, 10 wins, 5 losses. Still a game in hand. As I said, I'm not sure when they're going to play that extra game, the Gold Coast Suns and Essendon. I'm still not sure what's going on there. So we'll have to keep it posted when that game actually does come around. But there we go. Gold Coast up into 6th. As we can see, still got a few matches coming up over the weekend. Of course, the next game we'll be taking us to is Geelong, who sit 5th on the ladder, taking on Richmond. And let me just have a quick browse. My gosh, where did I go? Just to let everyone know, the games next week for Essendon and the Gold Coast Suns. Gold Coast Suns next week, well, they're playing at home People's First Stadium. That's next Friday night football. They're taking on the league ladder, Collingwood. This is a game, folks, even being a Collingwood supporter myself, this is a game I think the Pies might let slip, and I think the Gold Coast actually might get up in this game next Friday night. Gold Coast taking on Pies. I think the Gold Coast can actually take this game out. I'll be extremely happy if the Magpies can win that game. But the Gold Coast Suns are very hard to beat at home, as I always say. That's a game that I'd probably have a tenner on Gold Coast up there. Well, because you just never know. And of course, next week for the Bombers, a little bit more game that the possibility they could win. They're taking on the Richmond Tigers next Saturday night. That should be a ring-a-ding-ding game. That'll be a great battle between Richmond and Essendon next Saturday night. So 2 fantastic games these 2 clubs, Essendon and the Gold Coast Suns, have got next week. Certainly looking forward to those games, folks. And make sure you tune in next week for those 2 games if you barrack for Essendon or the Gold Coast Suns, because they should be fantastic games. There we go. Don't forget, the games coming up today. As I said, if you are a Gold Coast Suns supporter or anyone here, because look, if you have a look at that, when was the last time we ever saw this, folks? When was the last time we ever saw this? Round 17, looking at second position, sitting on 42 points, and then have a look at third down to ninth, all sitting on 40 points. Fremantle is only a half a game off second spot, and they're sitting in ninth on the ladder. Can you believe it? Tell you what, we've got some exciting games coming up. All you have to do, folks, don't worry about opposition teams losing. If you're one of these teams here, you just have to worry about winning. That's what your obligation is. And that's what you got to do if you want to climb the ladder. Of course, we've got Geelong, as I said, in 5th position. They're playing Richmond coming up next in about 45 minutes. And, of course, this evening we've got Brisbane Lions sitting second, taking on Port Adelaide down there in 10th. So there we go. It could alter, some of these could Tell you what, it'd be interesting if there was a couple of upsets. If Richmond won and Port Adelaide won, that would throw the cat amongst the pigeons, because St Kilda play Hawthorn also tonight. And of course, we know St Kilda like to be the fly in the ointment. There we go. Hawthorn will be looking for a victory to climb the ladder as well. And of course, Fremantle will play tomorrow against Sydney. So they'll be wanting, they have to win Fremantle if they want to stay in contention with the top 8. And they can jump back into the top 8. And of course, Adelaide play Melbourne, and we expect Adelaide to win that game. So who knows if there's an upset. Look, every team will be looking at each other, hoping that the opposition lose and they can win, put that game clear of the of the other team, because it is just so tight. As I said, from 2nd to 9th on the ladder, there is half a game separating them. That is how tight the season is. And of course, Collingwood now, well, 14 points. 2.5, is that 3.5 games clear? 3.5 games clear on top of the ladder. So that's what I'm saying. I think next week, I think with the Gold Coast Suns, I think they might actually get up over the Magpies next week up at People's First Stadium, but it should still be a ring-a-ding-ding game next week. Tell you what, make sure you tune in for that one. I think that's next Friday night, if memory serves me correctly. I think it is next Friday night. Let me just have a quick browse, folks. I'll let you know again. Yeah, that's right. That's next Friday night football. Gold Coast Suns take on Collingwood up there at People's First Stadium. But look, this was a fantastic game today. It was a great spectacle. It was exciting in parts. I tell you what, the lead changes chopped and changed. The lead probably got out to maybe down this part. Most of the time it was within 10 points. 8 points was probably the biggest margin up until half-time for the Gold Coast Suns. 6 points of the Bombers probably got out to the lead to half-time. So all the way to half-time, it was super, super tight. And then it got back to within 3-point margin at three-quarter time. And we thought, you know what, maybe the Bombers could do this and get up, but they were just a little bit too good, were the Gold Coast Suns. Hey, all right, folks, that's all I got for this one. Come and join in the next game. Geelong taking on Richmond. That's coming up. It's coming up in 30 minutes' time. All right, folks, until next time, ciao for now. We'll see you at that next game.